me and Ryan have been officially welcomed to the jungle that is Barstool Sports.
I brought it toward the Coyotes, and I asked them if it was okay if I joined the Spittin Chiclets podcast full time.
Ryan Whitney's got a pink Whitney out there now.
Hey, this is a sandbagger. Get that on camera.
Keith Yandel, the song man, is a full-time member.
Marley just got an assist from
Chris Beach. Whoa, we're buzzing right now. Sonk.
What's up, guys? What's up, folks? Welcome to episode 590 of the Spittin Chiclets podcast, presented to you by, get it out, Keith, Pink Whitney, everywhere in Greensboro, everywhere in Charlotte, all over New York City. Actually, our guy Roan from Son of a Boy Dad. Everyone, go check out Son of a Boy Dad. The Chiclets boys were on this past week, right before we did our live show. It dropped the next day on Tuesday. He sent me pictures. He was doing a cruise all around New York City, and he was in Harlem, and Pink Whitney was everywhere. Everywhere, he said. So incredible to see the representation of Pink Whitney all over the biggest city in the United States of America. I love that. As I mentioned, it's down south, it's out west, it's everywhere. Midwest, biz, the Grand Prairies in the United States. It's everywhere.
Well, some places in Canada still, but the tariffs have still messed that up. But at a certain point, we'll be smuggling more of it across the border.
Exactly. Canada, Don't you worry. I've gotten your messages. We will bring an 18-wheeler up there full of it, and we may not even charge you for it. We'll just give it to you. Yep. That's the kind of mood we're in. Back to 2 episodes a week. So shout out Pink Whitney.
I would do another Pink Whitney tour in Canada. If they opened up the borders again and they got Pink Whitney there, I would go across Canada. I'd do it in an RV, and I would be pouring it down people's throats in every small town along the way. It would be as popular as Tim Hortons is in Canada if they opened the borders back up for Pink Whitney.
Donut and a Pink Whitney shooter actually go pretty well together. I've tried it.
He also said he's willing to live in an RV. He said he's ready for that RV life.
He did not say willing. He said he wants to.
I would do that.
Okay.
You guys think I'm crazy, man.
Now, will you do it if we paint the RV pink and it's
Buddy,
like...
I would 1,000% live in an Earth Roamer. So the picture came up. Post Malone just got a brand new custom one, and it's the bigger version one. They have one that's like a 2-bed where there's one above where you drive, and then you would turn like the kitchen area, like the kitchen table, into a bed. And then there's another one that's even longer where I believe you could probably sleep 3 beds. I would drive around and live in the bigger version one if it was wrapped in Pink Whitney. I would be like the new John Madden, where I would just drive to Atlanta for my broadcast, and then if we're on the road anywhere for maybe like the conference finals or finals, I would bring it there. And then in between, when we're doing sandbaggers, whether it's Florida, whether it's here, whether it's there, I would live out of this thing for the next 4 or 5 years of my life. No kids, no wife, no dog. Obviously, as Jans has let you know, pretty much every pod since he chirped me about it.
Wait, would you have a driver, or you would drive it yourself?
I
driving?
love driving.
Yeah, that's true.
I love driving.
You're a driver. You're an absolute driver. I just looked up Post Malone's Earth Roamer. Really wish there was pictures of the inside, but it's a wagon. The thing, it's $1.5 million too. I didn't realize that they were that expensive.
Keep in mind, nice. I would sell my place in Arizona and then do that. The cross country flights are starting to wear me down a little bit. And Jans is in Florida. You're in Boston. G's back in Boston. The fucking Warthog who's back.
Warthog.
Welcome back. Couple clicks for the rear, boys. He's in Boston.
For anyone who's a little confused, every Friday show we'll have RA on the back half after the interview we drop, and it's RA's World, right? And like I just mentioned on name, This is RA's back in the fold. He brings the thunder. He brings the heat. You'll see more and more of them. So everything's going to be up to RA, what we discuss, what we chat about, RA's World. And we're all living in it on the back half of Friday's episode. So I cannot wait to get him on. He's sitting back there right now watching us. We can't see him. I think he's taking notes. Anything he can kind of chirp us for, he can then come on and boom. He could come right at you, Biz, or right at me.
I love that. And right now, essentially, the Warthog, is it a Warthog or Warthog?
Warthog.
Warthog.
He's in his cage, and he's coming out in an hour.
Okay.
And we're feeding. We're feeding. We're not even feeding him like healthy snacks like carrots or celery. We're throwing in milk duds and fucking Sour Patch Kids to the Warthog. So
gotta go to the dentist.
No. You know what we're throwing in? The golden fishies. He loves those
No,
golden
don't bring those
fishies in
up.
his own Ziploc bag. We're just throwing them in there. You know what we should do as we get closer to RA's
Fish
world?
dust.
We should start let's get more aggressive as the closer we get to RA's world. So we
Yeah.
got some special guests planned for today, and I can't wait
the
to see the
cage
guy.
starts rattling. Like,
Yeah,
let him out.
Yeah.
Let him out. He's had 1,400 goldfish out of his own plastic bag. Let him out.
Oh, we told our Francis Ellis told a hilarious RA story on the Son of a Boy Dad. So just going back to the end of last pod and Whit touching on Roan, it was great sitting down. 6 of us sat down with Mike's, a 6-man weave as they call it, and that's not easy. But I thought we were all snapping around great. Great hearing about these like stand up. Lil Sass's first ever stand-ups where, he had to crack a few pops before going on stage, thought he was crushing it, watched the tape, and then realized he was bombing, and just some fun stories from how these guys all started out and where they came from. And and I think we've had Roan on before. Like the battle rapping stuff, that is a different fucking level, man. It's crazy how he's able to do that and remember all the intelligent stuff he wrote and fire that off in real time. So just some very talented guys over there. So it was awesome collabing with them. But what do you guys got on the hockey docket? What have you guys been following the most?
Before we get to hockey, I'm not in a huge rush to get to hockey right now because we got to experience a pretty special moment for your country, Biz. We experienced it together at a great little Irish pub. I wish I remember the name of it. After we had dinner, we look and we say, wow, it's the 4th inning, Game 7. Jays, Mariners. The Mariners have never been to a World Series. The Jays haven't been since I think it was 93 was their last one. And goddamn, Biz, Toronto's a baseball city. I got to give that city a lot of credit. You can't do shit in hockey come the spring, but come the biggest moment of baseball seasons in the fall, you have a baseball team. And it's rising up your entire country. And also, a win happened after their star player wore a Leafs jersey to a Game 7, which is just the worst idea you could ever imagine. But they came through. They got it done for you. You owned me on a video, but I'm happy for Toronto, truly, because they got a baseball team that might be able to take this whole thing down.
I appreciate that, Whit. And we're going to get the name of that pub, and we're going to get to the Blue Jays. But given the start that this player in the league has had, I had a surprise for you guys. A guy that I played with, a guy that Keith played with, and we're going to hop conversations and come back because we have a special guest joining us right now. Phoenix Coyotes legend.
Wow.
Absolute legend. Shane fucking Doan. Shane friggin' Doan.
Shane friggin' Doan.
Hey guys.
Doner, what's up, buddy?
You
Not
look
much, Whit.
unreal.
How you doing? How you guys
I'm doing great, thanks. We appreciate this. What a surprise by you.
Unreal.
We had to. After the game that Josh had last night and the way he's been playing, I just thought, how could I surprise the boys? And I hadn't seen this guy's face in a while. And you must be on the Iserpan skin routine. Like, look at your skin right now. You look incredible.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm trying that. Yeah, I was going to try something like that. You know me.
Your wife just gives you something, says, wash your face with this before bed. Okay, honey.
I don't think I've washed my face before bed in my life. So we'll see.
Yeah, all natural, baby. But it's kind of awesome because you're working with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I was pretty shocked to see that trade go down when the Utah Mammoth traded Josh Doan. They ended up getting JJ Peterka back. Maybe I understand it with where Utah is and the pressure that they have to make playoffs, but it must be awesome that the fact that Josh is so close and you're able to go down and probably watch him play and just, be on the same time zone as him. So how has that been as a father, and just how proud are you at his start and the way that he's handled everything in the last 6 months?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Obviously, the Utah, the Coyotes were kind of like his family. I mean, you both know that. You saw he was in the room with Stan and Tony and Jason Rudy and Jimmy O'Neill and all the guys that kind of moved over with him. And so it was a big shock for him when the trade happened. And in the minute he got into the dressing room in Buffalo, he loves the guys. He's telling me how this guy's the best and that guy's the best, and he'd love this guy. And he's ecstatic. I think Kevin Adams and Mr. Pagula both reached out to him and made him feel like he was important. And then it was sick. From then on, he was in and really excited. And obviously he's had some success and you want to get a couple goals early, and gets a couple goals, and now he's feeling really good about himself. So it's fun. It's fun to watch.
So Donor, you played 21 years, and it's just shocking to see. It was one organization. Like, it's so rare to see that. So you couldn't give the patented hey, I remember my first time traded, right? Like, you never went through that. But when he found out, was it more like shock, or was it more kind of excitement? I think I'll play more there. Like, how were you able to discuss the business part of hockey when he gave you a call, or you found out?
Yeah, I think that the fact that Buffalo specifically, and at least that's what they told him, had really wanted him, and that was a big part of it. It makes you feel wanted, and that's really all I focused on. That's what we talked about, him and I, was how another team really wants him, and what Utah and Arizona had done for him was incredible. He was so grateful for Andre Terranay and Bill and Chris Armstrong and Ryan Smith and what they did for him, because they gave him a chance to play, and he got an opportunity to play for the team that he grew up loving and being part of. But he wanted to create his own story, and that's kind of what we talked about. Like, hey, go somewhere and do your own thing and have fun doing it. And I think the fall and the spring, he got to go to the World Championships, and so he knew Tage from skating with him in the summers, and so that made it a little bit easier. And then with Kess going with him, it made it easy. We were excited, and we got really pumped about it, and I couldn't wait for him to get here. And yeah, he loves the guys. He knows Owen Powers really well, so he's got a group of guys that he knew before he got here, and so he was really excited.
And Donor, having played with you, I knew you weren't really stressing too much before games or even during games. Like, you were getting dressed 3 minutes before we went on the ice. But is it more nerve-wracking for you watching Josh play than it was for you playing or getting ready for a game?
Jelly, it's not even close. Like, my wife gives it to me because she's never seen me really, like, before a game, she would never see me get nervous. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, exactly. She's like, what's wrong with you? Like, stop. I'm like, well, I don't know what to do. There's nothing you can do. You just watch, and then now you have every thought go through your head of, like, you never really think about anything going wrong and when you're playing, but now that I'm like worried about him, and it's different, and but it's been great. It's been a lot of fun. I'm actually in the hotel right across the street from it at the Marriott, because we were there last night, and then Toronto we play tomorrow night, so the guys are coming in tonight. So
Yeah, you have a home and home, right, with Buffalo?
yeah, we got a home and home Friday, Saturday. They moved the games up on Friday to, I think the first game.
5.
They moved the Friday game from 7:30 to 7, and then the game on Saturday from 7 to 5. So
For what reason?
Will you have money on the
World
board
Series.
for that?
Oh,
I have money on the board? I don't know if I have to have money on the board for that.
Yeah, your
I
son.
don't
Like,
legal.
that ended. I'm done playing. I don't have to do
you
that
don't want to get
anymore.
roped in
I'll
with this
text.
Chauncey Billups nonsense. You better be careful. Can't be just chucking money on other teams' boards and stuff.
Donor, I had talked to you after, first couple games of the year, and Josh was creating opportunities, setting guys up, and just wasn't really getting the points. And I know it's easier for us to say, like, it'll come. Like, I was just wondering if you had any conversations with him, like, hey, start, like, you don't have to grip the stick, like, it's gonna come. You're playing awesome, like, just giving your advice that you accumulated over 21 years.
Yeah, 100%. Watching the games, it was hard because he'd made some really good plays and gave some guys some good opportunities. He hit, I think, again in the opener, he deflected one off the post. It was a nice deflection off against the Rangers, and I think one went post and in, or post and out, and we talked about it as a kid, like, tons of times, about how, hey, it doesn't really matter if you're scoring or not, if you're playing the right way, and you just have to play the right way. And unfortunately, when it's not going in, that doesn't seem to be the right answer. But for him to finally get a couple assists and then get a couple goals, that felt really nice for a couple goals. Didn't use his stick in either of them, but at the same time, they count. There's no
Doesn't matter.
That's right. No pictures on a scorecard. So
I was on the broadcast, we were about to break down a Josh Doan tape, and then we ended up getting that Colton Ellis kid on for a great interview. What a kid. Just so humble, and he was just so grateful, and really cool to see Hank get to ask him a few questions where he's like, oh, I'm glad I don't see you right now. I'd be a lot more nervous, probably stuttering my words. But I was going to go back to the team and Josh's line specifically. So they've won 3 of the last 4, how long has he been playing with McLeod and Tuck? Because in that game last night, I thought on the forecheck, they were unreal. They were good at like rotating, you know, like one guy would dip in, the other guy would cover as the F3, and then the other guy would take over the wall, where they were really jamming up their D. So I felt like that was where they were doing a lot of their damage on the forecheck. But I feel like he's really developed a good chemistry with Tuck and McLeod. Was that the first time they'd played together? Has this been going on the last 3-4 games on this like little wind tear?
Well, they were together once, right at the very beginning, and then they had a couple injuries, and then when Benson came back, they switched. They put McLeod with Tuck and Josh. Then Josh had been with Kulich and Quinney a little bit, and they'd had some success, but not as much offensive wise, I guess. But yeah, I love their line in the way that they can forecheck. I think that obviously Clowder can fly and Tuck can skate and can score. And Josh is, I think, his biggest strength is his stick. He has the ability to knock pucks down and get his stick on pucks and create turnovers by just having a good stick. Because I can tease him about not being the fastest guy on the ice. He's working on it and he's getting faster and faster. But oh
no, we lost him.
There he is.
There he is.
Oh, sorry guys.
Were you getting a phone call there from Tree Living about tampering, or what was going on there?
Yeah, maybe something like that. No, get a phone call from my wife.
It was Andrea.
It was?
Yeah, it was.
She's like, did you put on that skin routine thing yet? Coaching Josh or even talking to your son after games, has there ever been a time you maybe got like a little too angry with him, or was it never the case? Like you never were hard on him if he didn't play great?
I know what I found. I was sarcastic. Like I'd get like, "Hey, that was a good game." Like I get sarcastic when I didn't.
He's like, "Thanks, Dad."
Yeah, exactly. And I had to watch that. That was the one thing I would do. I think one time I quietly suggested that maybe we should stop playing hockey if this is, hey, you don't want to play, you don't need to play. It's easy. Why don't we just go home now? And that was probably about the hardest thing, that he didn't like that very much. For him, and I know it sounds cheesy, but he's an amazing young man, and it's easy. Like he wants so badly to please like his coaches and whoever it is, that you don't have to be hard on him. You can say that wasn't good enough, and that's pretty much all that's enough to put him in his place. But he also wants to know that too. He's pretty good at self-awareness. He knows when he's not good. Like he's like, "Hey, I wasn't very good tonight." Sometimes he's a little too hard on himself, but not too often is it me having to get upset with him. Yeah, that always might come.
In Donor, like we were around him as a kid, and what I remember him is just like intensely watching our games, every game, like never wanting to leave early, any of that. But also when he was younger, like, and this isn't a shot at him, he wasn't the best player on his team. He played with Nyes. Then he went to Chicago Steel. He wasn't the best player on his team. Like, can you talk about the late blooming and being a parent and you were in the NHL at 14 years old, so it's a little tough for you, obviously, to give him advice on that. But like the advice that you must have gave him for other parents that their kids, aren't the best player at 12 years old, or like who gives a shit, right? At 12 years old.
No, and that was the part for me. I think that was the most exciting to watch him make it into the NHL. It wasn't like, some of the kids you see him at 16 years old, you're like, that guy's going to play. Like you think he's going to play because he's 6'3", 215 pounds, faster than everyone on the ice. And you're like, okay, he has the capability. Yeah, he's got a chance. Where with Josh, I think a lot of people that watched him play weren't necessarily as impressed with his physical stature at the time as they thought that he would have had. And so it was tough. Yeah. I remember a game, we did the blue-white game in Kamloops when he was 15. Is 15 or 16 years old. So it's like the Kamloops Blazers do this game where it's, your prospects play against your actual team. He was like 5'6", 130 pounds. And he's out there. And Jermaine Lowen, who was the captain of the team at the time, was 6'4", 235. And I'm like, he's going to kill him. Like if Josh, like, even though they're on the same team, he might actually accidentally get killed by him. Like, but after the game, we're walking off the ice, and I'd never seen it bother him. Nothing had ever bothered him about that. And we get in the car and he was upset, like emotionally
Like
upset.
I'm tiny, Dad, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
like, and he was like, I know what to do and I can't do it. Like, I know where I should go and I know how to get there and I know what, and I can't do it. And he kind of, that was the only time I saw him really get upset, like, about that. And we talked about how it was a marathon. This isn't a sprint. That I said, in the end, everybody ends up within, 20% of each other. Like, if you're 6'4", you're 20% bigger than the guy that's 5'11", and if you're 220 pounds, it's 20% bigger than the guy that's, like, that's, everyone ends up in that kind of, right now you're at about 40% on some of these guys. So hang in there, and when that balance comes, you're going to be fine. And he did. And then when he got to Chicago, he had a lot of fun. And obviously Chicago was incredible for him with the way they taught skill and the way they pushed the program there. He had fun and success and some great players, and that helped him. But yeah, playing with Matty Nyes growing up was a lot of fun too. And he was always smart. Josh could always figure things out. So he'd figure out how to play when he was little. And I think it helps him now that he's older and the same size as everybody.
You played in the Western League. Obviously, Josh went off to ASU. You mentioned the USHL. I had someone send me a tweet because we were talking about him on the broadcast, and they said that they followed the Chicago Steel very closely. I think they actually went to all the games, and they said, I'd never seen someone develop so fast from his first year in Chicago to his second year, where they were like he was a completely different player on how good he had gotten. I found like it's been like that kind of jump now, like going from last year to this year and what he's been able to do at the NHL level. What do you make of these quick, like, not only growth as far as physicality, but his like mental side of his hockey game? Like, what do you make of how quick it's all coming to him?
You know what he did? It was a huge jump from his first year in Chicago to his second. COVID hit at the end of his first year, and so there was a lot longer, I think, gap there. And so he had even more time before his second year started. So COVID hit in March. They didn't start playing again until it was like 7 months later. And in those 7 months, he really grew. Like, those were during COVID. He was at home, and so that helped him with the jump wise. But his ability to understand, like, I always think that hockey's about, it's like, it asks you questions. Like, here's a problem, you got to solve it. If you can solve the problem, you move on. If you can't solve that problem, it's time to go home. And Josh has that ability to kind of solve the problems and figure out. It's not always the normal way to do it, because he's had to figure it out because he was so much smaller than everybody when he was younger, when he was 13, 14, 15, 16, he was even so much smaller than everybody. So he figured out how to use his stick and get smart and protect the puck and do the little things. And so now when he gets into situations, I think in the NHL, he's having to solve problems that okay, how do I figure out how to score the way that I used to score, figure out how I can get to the front of the net, how I can be around the net, how I can get in on the forecheck, how I can play defense. And he's got a long ways to go, and he's going to keep kind of trying to solve those problems. And he seems to figure it out a lot better than I did. I was just kind of like,
I'm going to fight someone.
Run into it harder. If you can't get by, run into the problem and hit it harder. That was kind of the theory.
Well, your nose is flat.
You also played in the Western League where they had separate warm-ups, so you came up through a different time. Now, going back to my last question, do you have a strong opinion on the way that they've changed things? I talked about how you played in the Western League, where before, if you played in the Western League, you weren't able to go off to college. Your son played in the USHL, so you understand how important that age and that development is, where now they can kind of go from the USHL to the OHL or CHL, for that matter, off to college and then maybe hit pro. So how do you feel about the way that like hockey has changed its structure in those very important, vital years of their growth?
What I think is the biggest part of it is that it gave boys the ability to make a decision on where they're going at a young age and not feel like they're mortgaging their whole future. Like when you were 14 and a team from the CHL came to you and wanted you to go play for them, and you had to make a decision. Jans, you went through it. Wits, you went through it. You guys had to make those bids. We all did. We all had to make a decision. Where are we going to go? What are we going to do? And I'm 15 years old and I'm having to make a decision on whether or not I want to choose going and getting a secondary education in the US or forfeiting that and putting all my eggs in one basket. And I think that's probably the biggest change and something that I think is really positive. I think there's a ton that's going to change in the next 3 to 4 years. I don't know what's going to happen with all the leagues and how it's all going to kind of wash itself out. But I think it's good for the boys as much as it is anything for the families of the boys, so that they don't have to make that decision and be like, oh, I have no choice. I have to take a step. The CHL is the best junior league in the world. And you had to make a decision to not go play in the best league in the world if you wanted to go forward. And that didn't seem to like align with the way sports is traditionally goes. When you get good enough, you go play in the best league. After you play in that league for a little bit, you go play in the next best league. I think what the NCAA is for my son was huge, as it gave him a little longer runway. It gave him a chance to develop a little bit more physically. He would have been in a lot of trouble if he had to go at 19, 20 years old to go play in the minors, because he wouldn't have been able to do it. But at the NCAA level, ASU, they did a great job of giving him more runway. And I think that's huge for all the boys, because you don't know. I think the most important thing is just keep getting better. And if you can keep getting better, then you have a chance to play. And once you plateau, that's kind of when, you got to see where you're at.
Especially the kids who plateau at 14 and they're dominating. And it's like, well, it's a long, like you said, it's the marathon. Crazy.
It's so funny, Wits, because people will come and be like, hey, you see my son, what do you think? I'm like, I don't know. Like, he's the best kid on the ice, but he's playing against 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds. Like, in 2 years, is he going to be the best kid on the ice? Is he getting better? Is that as good as he's ever going to get? Watch him. And if he enjoys playing, let him keep playing. That's it.
Try hearing that about 8-year-olds.
I know.
You say it about 15-year-olds and it's crazy.
It is. It's actually unbelievable. And yet you totally get it as a parent. Like I remember going through it and doing it. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah.
Donor, you spent a ton of time watching hockey. I would assume the most you consume is NHL hockey. Who has impressed you the most this year? Which teams have you saw where you're like, wow, I really like what they're showing? Obviously, you're affiliated with Toronto. Things haven't necessarily started out the best there. You can avoid that conversation if you want. So who do you like and who's impressed you?
I mean, there's a whole group of teams that you look at the teams that are having at the top of every division, and you got to, you're getting 8, 9, 10 games in, and you're starting to see teams that weren't necessarily the teams that were at the top of the division in the past be at the top. I watched Detroit last night, and you're impressed with what those young 3 kids at the end of the game with the goalie pulled. They had 3 kids that were 20 years old on the ice, and that's pretty impressive. Or 21, I guess. And that's impressive. And I don't think anybody saw any of those 3 boys playing in the NHL and playing that significant of a role on their team this early in the season. And
I don't even think Detroit Brass thought that was going to be the case.
Finney played in Kamloops, so I got a soft spot for him. And
he owned him.
Yeah.
At one point. You're part owner of the Kamloops Blazers, right? What's the ownership group like?
It's great.
It's you,
Iggy, Rex, Mark Recchi, and Daryl Sador and Tom Ghilardi.
That'll do it. The owner of the Dallas Stars also?
Yeah.
He's got his hands in everything. And what was Finney like in junior? Someone said he didn't even have a goal his 16-year-old year.
No, his 16-year-old year he had a great playoffs that year. When he got into the playoffs, we hosted the Memorial Cup, and he was really good. That was a 17-year-old year. Yeah, 16-year-old year, he didn't have a goal. His 17-year-old year, he was okay, but he was kind of just scraping getting into the top of the lineup. He was probably about our 9th forward. But when you talk to the guys on the team, like Fraser Mitten was with Toronto, and now he's in Boston, and Stank and those guys, when you talk to those guys, they would be like, hey, the Finney kid's good. Like, he's going to be a good player. And when Detroit drafted him, they drafted him late.
7th round. Jans has been all over him this year.
Well, I talked to Danny Cleary about it yesterday. I was like, what's up with these? Like, we went and there was a game that 16-year-old year, there was injuries, and he played a ton. And they're like, all right, okay. And then you get to the 7th round and it's flyer picks. You're just kind of taking a chance. They picked him. And then he said by the next March, he's standing next to him outside the locker room. He's like, dude, you're taller than I am now. Like, he grew. You're lucky. That's just all luck. You draft a kid, he grows 3 inches in the next year. It's like, okay, now we're really cooking with gas. But even he's like, I didn't know he'd be this good this early, which is just testament to their scouts.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah. And at the time I think I was with Arizona at the time, and like nobody had him anywhere really was talking about him when we were hosting the Memorial Cup, but our players were talking about him. So then we got talking about him. Like we were like this, but then when you're with the organization, it always feels like you're kind of, if you're saying something about him, it's always taken with a grain of salt, because it's like, well, he's one of your guys. But I watched him last year twice. I watched him play in Prince George last year, and we didn't have a very good team in Kamloops, and Prince George had a really good team, and he almost beat Prince George by himself. Like they had a good team, and I hadn't seen him play really in person in probably a year and a half, and and I was like, holy man, this kid's. I did not expect him to do this, like be this good, but it was fun to watch him.
So as a player, there's so many peaks and valleys in a season, and I think it's easier for a player not to panic after a 2 or 3 game losing streak. But as a guy in a front office, I imagine the emotions after wins and losses are almost like higher, right? I don't know. You could tell me if I'm wrong, but you probably watch Toronto now, and you lose a couple games, and you almost get more pissed had you been on the Coyotes and lost a couple games. Is that true?
Yeah, it's different because I think you take it home more because you can't do anything about it on the ice. So then you like, if you have a bad game as a player, I think that you're like, okay, next game I'm going to be better. Like next game I'm going to whatever. I got to bear whatever it is that you think you weren't sharp. You kind of know what your skill level is, so you know what you're capable of. And if you didn't perform at your capabilities, you're like, okay, I got to focus here and get myself, dialed in a little bit more. But when you're when you're on the management side, all you do is watch video and discuss it and go over it and figure out how, like, you just keep discussing the same things. And that's hard. And you want to win so bad, and you want to find a way to help so bad. And, but at the same time, it's different.
And the puck drops and you can't do a thing.
No. And I have yet to make a mistake from about 150 feet up in the air. Never.
I was going to say the game's a lot easier from up top, Donor. So don't forget that you were a player once too.
They should make, I think GMs and staff should have to sit down low. Like, just remember, guys, like you had 15 minutes to make the play from up on the catwalk.
Oh, it's unbelievable when you're sitting up there and it's like, how didn't you see he was open? He was open for the last 4 seconds. You had the puck. You're getting chased by a 230-pound guy that really wants to hit you hard and hurt you. It's a lot easier to just, dismiss that and be like, well, just step aside and look at it. He's right there, like 15 feet away. Just slide it to him. Oh, it's so hard. And that, I think as management, you always want to remember that, like, the guys want to be good. Like, nobody wants to be bad. No one wants to go out there and stink. Like, they want to go out there and make a difference and be helpful and make your team better. It's not like they're choosing not to do well, but the circumstances around them, whether it's ice time, whether it's personal life, whether it's whatever it is that's affecting that player, you have to be able to see that and understand that, because it has such a huge impact on people.
Do you see like a big difference in, obviously, majority of your career was in Phoenix. You did play in Winnipeg a little bit, but like the pressures of playing in a Canadian city, and especially Toronto with the group that they have there, like, do you feel like the outside noise gets into a locker room more than it would have when we were playing in Arizona?
I think, yeah, like there's no question it gets in more, like without a doubt. And there's a give and take. Like, it's drastically different. Like, there's things that in Arizona that we never ever worried about and had to deal with because of the awareness of the Coyotes in the Valley. Like, there wasn't a huge awareness like there is in Toronto, where it's big. It's a big deal. And that comes with some huge benefits for the guys that play in Toronto. Like, they get some huge benefits for that, like stuff that I didn't even fathom. And then there's some things that are also a little bit of a just make it a little bit harder as well. And you weigh those both, and the benefits, I think, are really unique and really special. And the more I'm around it, the more I admire it and impressed by the organization and the way that they do things.
I got a question for you. We chatted about this when we were together, and especially, Biz complains about not complains, but talks about the states that are tax free and stuff like that. So How's this for an idea that the play? You know how all the teams have like sponsors on their jerseys now.
Yes.
If the players can have a sponsor, where in those Canadian cities, like
Unreal idea you brought
McDonald's
up. The other
can
day,
give Connor McDavid $20 million, and then he can be like, "Hey, listen, guys, I'll play for $5 million."
Hey,
you laughed, owner, but let's keep in mind here.
I'm not laughing because
The owners opened up Pandora's box, right? They're
Right.
the ones who agreed to put those on the jerseys. So considering, and a lot of people are not happy about it. Like people are saying like the Detroit Red Wings, the Toronto Maple Leafs, these original 6 jerseys should not be ruined with advertisements. Well, once again, the Pandora's box has already been opened. There's already a little crest of whatever ad. Why not just throw one on the other side, and that could be the personal player sponsor? Him and his agent have the opportunity to go to market and sell that. Obviously, every province is taxed at a very high level compared to some states in the U.S. Obviously, the New Yorks and the LAs are high as well, but those are also markets where you can get a higher tag as far as these sponsorship deals. So I feel like that would even the playing field as far as guys maybe not taking these quote unquote hometown discounts because they're not being subject to the provincial or state tax. I feel like that, like Jan's brought up the idea, and I go, it's genius, and those top end players can take an advantage of that, considering they're being taxed more.
And the team would get a piece based on it being their jersey, but a percentage.
Hey,
They'd have to, Biz.
you talk about Pandora's box. Once it's open, I understand what you're saying, but now once you do this, you're just opening another box. Like it's going to, like the legs on every decision that the league makes and the things that they do, it has such ramifications that you can't see coming until it's done. And it's always, that's why I think it moves so slowly all the time, because everyone's like, okay, wait a minute. Is this really what we want? I mean, you look at video replay. Now we wanted to get it exactly right on the offsides. Well, now it's like the guy skates a millimeter offside and it slows down the game for 7 minutes for us. But that's what we wanted because that's kind of the way it is. And so I like video replay because it gets the game right. But at the same time, there's, where does it end and how do you control it all? It's, I love all this discussion.
The owner's
I
on the
think it's
fucking
great.
owner's side now.
Well,
I'm
Bettman
not the only one.
You
I'm
said
not-
don't do that. Bettman
Yeah.
said don't do this.
Is Bettman
And
in the room with you?
He
Is
wouldn't
in
stay at
there?
a
Turn your
Marriott.
phone around. I want to see who's in the room with you.
I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it's NIL is really what it is. It's name, image, and likeness. It's a college, and I love that. I think that for the kids in college, it's amazing, and the way that it plays. I don't know what's going to happen. You look at what's going over in with the soccer teams and I don't even know what their jerseys are. Like I have no idea what team's playing when I go to watch English Premier League because their jerseys are all covered in all different kinds of things. I don't even know. So that's not what the league wants, I'm assuming. But at the same time, everybody wants to find a way to make it as much money as possible playing a sport that they love to play.
Biz may show up at your hotel room. I look at him. He's intense.
I know he's
right
coming.
now.
He's actually coming after me right now. I like it.
You taking money out of players' pockets, Stoner? You're like, no. No.
I'll go this route. Matthew Schaefer, going back to when you started playing and you were coming up, when's the last time you've seen a young defenseman be this impactful already as an 18-year-old? Like, this is crazy what he's doing. He's really changed the fabric of that Islanders team, going from being so boring to where I feel like that building's packed. There's so much more energy and the excitement levels through the roof for this 18-year-old. And Witt even said that he might be making the Olympic team.
You know what? The last D-man, but it wasn't fair because he wasn't 20. He was 22 was McCarr. Like when McCarr came in, it was like the guys that were he's way older. So it's not even close to the comparison, but talking to the guys, Tree tells a story about he came in and played in the playoffs for Colorado, and the scout that was scouting him in college was like, "Hey, when does the series start?" And they said, whatever it was, like April 20th or whatever. He's like, "Oh man, hopefully UMass goes to the finals and plays in the Frozen Four. We don't want McCarr to join their team." And Calgary had a really good team at the time. Calgary, I think, had won the division. They're like, a college kid? Like, yeah, don't. And then they're like, the first game they played, they're like, we're in trouble. Like, this guy's legit. This guy's unbelievable. And I'm not saying he's Makar by no means, because that's a special player. But I think, like, what Schaefer's doing is so fun. I like his joy, in the way that, and the way that he carries himself off the ice, and the way that he's obviously adversity always builds character, and he's had so much in his life, and for him to be the type of young man that he is, I think that's so impressive.
Almost has a little Drew Doughty in him. I think it was Jans who mentioned that, or maybe you.
Yes.
Doughty came in that Olympic year, the one in it was Vancouver, right?
So that was Doughty's second year, right?
Second year,
and this would be, but it's very similar, where like kind of surprising he made it a little bit, and then I think he started low on the depth chart and had 3 spinoramas at the offensive blue line the first game Canada played, and just took over the tournament.
Yeah.
And it's very similar, I think. Like all of a sudden, like no one's thinking it. If he continues on this pace, hey, this is a kid who's going to play in 2030 for us as well. Let's bring him in. And then he plays his way into a top 4 role. There's a lot of hockey to be played, but I could see it happening. The only other guy I could think of who I think was 18, you'd know better, Donor, is Scott Niedermayer was very young when he came in and dominated for the Devils.
But they had such a core on their blue line. Like they had, like because he came in, he won the Memorial Cup in 93, and then in the spring of 93, he came in and he was unbelievable and played for them. And he was a 19-year-old, I think, though. He came in as a 19-year-old because he came back because they had the lockout in 94, and then he played that year in Kamloops.
Yeah, you're right. He only played 4 games his 18-year-old year.
Yeah, and then his 19-year-old year. But yeah, you know what? Jovo came when Jovo was in Florida. He came out and they went to the Stanley Cup Finals. He
shut down Lindros, right?
Oh yeah, and he was hammering people and physical and scoring goals. That was impressive. That was my rookie year and his rookie year.
And he started playing hockey like 4 years before that.
Yeah. Like the guy, he's a freak of an athlete. Him, Jans, and Smitty. Those are the 3 guys that I would be like athletes that are just, if you're playing a sport, you just pick them. You're like, yeah, they're on my team. Like I don't really care about what sport we're playing. They'll find a way to be successful at it. I didn't get to play with you, Wits and Biz. You and I are in the same boat, so we'll be.
I don't know if you've seen me shoot a basketball, but there were NBA discussions when I was 14, and trust me, they didn't know if I was a righty or a lefty. Put it that way.
Oh, there you go. That's always an advantage.
I got a question for you, Donor. If we were back in our Coyotes days, and maybe we didn't have the best start to the year, and I started strutting down the hallway pregame with this outfit on right here, what would you have said to me?
Well, it's the Canadian tuxedo, isn't it? Like that's it's perfect.
That's what Donor wears every other day.
If you're not watching on the YouTube channel, this is William Nylander walking in with a paper bag, and I would assume that's probably a $25,000 Canadian tuxedo, the way that he spends his dough. He's got that necklace that kind of looks like a bit like a choke collar. It looks like the dog collar that RA wore on the ice after the finals. Do you guys have a little fun with Nylander and the tank tops he's wearing around town? Like, what do you say?
Oh, Willie is Willie. Willie's it's Willie Styles. I got to play with JR Styles, and now I get to hang out with Willie Styles. It's a lot of fun.
That outfit on Nylander works. I think it's 96% of the league. It doesn't work. That's how I looked at that.
Yeah, that other four is unique, and they're very special.
There's whatever, 15 guys who could rock that, and I'd say okay. If I imagine me coming in with that chest hair ripping, like body fat coming out of the tank top, it's like
But Biz, to answer your question, if you walk down the hallway and that giving hairy knuckles to the boys, that outfit would have been in the cold tub.
Oh, I remember.
For sure.
I remember I wore a fedora one time. Like I bought this hat in Nashville, and by the end of dinner, I think Radoslav Klesla had cut a hole in it with a steak knife. Like these guys would just torture me.
You loved it. You looked forward to it.
No, he was mad about that.
I was mad about my fedora.
Yeah, you were actually. I
That's
remember
my hard-earned money.
that. Yeah. Well, the one that comes to money. You don't mess with business money.
No.
Like you,
No,
you
because he
could keep
can't
them-
resell it with the hole in it. That's the
what
problem.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Game
Sold it
used.
to
I could have had
Cam
the whole
Newton.
team sign it with a silver Sharpie and made a few bucks. But who? So you mentioned JR. Was JR was the guy who was wearing the crazy outfits when you were playing with him?
Yeah, JR. Well, everyone had one or two guys that would have. Smitty, remember Smitty had that red suit that he would wear that was just looked like just a few guys.
Yeah, Jans brought up a good point. It's kind of like Pasternak. Like he does the silly suits, but maybe not necessarily the silliest of outfits, like where it's just like regular street clothes. So I think that there is a little bit of like a difference, right?
Yeah, I mean the players got that now and they can do what they want. And
Gee,
It's
find
obvious.
the Clayton Keller one. That one was way worse than Nylander's.
The puffy
I thought.
jacket.
He had
Well-
the puffy jacket. Then he had these knee pads. Like, I was like, what the hell is this?
That's how you get more
Maybe
ice
you'll
time.
like this, Biz. But I was like, I don't know, man. You're in Utah. That may not fly.
Okay, well, why don't we? So we're introducing a new segment where we're just bringing up all these silly outfits that these guys are wearing. Some of which we'll like, some of which we're gonna obviously carve. Can we bring up a few more? Okay, this is someone from Utah, right? What's the guy's name?
He's got a book in his hand. Is that a book?
Yeah, it's the Bible.
That's like LeBron saying this is my favorite book, but
Yeah,
he couldn't
yeah.
name one part of the book. I think the jacket and the shirt are nice. The jeans a little baggy, but I think that's in. That's Dmitry Shimashev.
Shimashev, yeah. He's a big kid.
He looks like what's the movie where they got a detention on the weekend?
Breakfast
Oh.
Club.
Breakfast
Club.
Club.
It looks like he's an extra in Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's what I'm seeing.
And he's got the book too. Yeah, you're right.
He's 6'7". He's a big man. 6'6", 6'7".
And he can move too. That
He
guy's
can move.
nice.
Yeah, he's a good
That's
player.
a lot of
Is that
denim.
one of the two Russians that they grabbed early in the first round where people
Yes.
were a little surprised?
Yeah, he was the first one.
Okay.
Oh,
That's a suit. I think that looks great.
Yeah, suits are fine, I think. Get crazy with the suit.
So this is Lamborghini for the Calgary Flames. He's got the bolo tie. He's got the three-piece. It looks like it's Calgary Flames red. And what do you make of and Donor, would you do this? The no socks.
In Canada, it's a tough go, but maybe if you're down south, you can get away with it.
That's all you got? You got nothing else? The bolo
I'm not-
tie? You used to
I'm
wear
not-
those to
I'm
Sunday
not,
church.
I'm not weighing in on any of this. I'm going to stay on the outside just smiling.
Okay, you could just smile there. Maybe we'll bring up a couple more. And what's he got on his hat there?
Ooh, the
2 and-
wow, he's got
29
a
is number.
2-9. Now he
Of-
wears 92, so maybe the cards are backwards, or 29 was the number he wanted. I don't mind this. Now let's get ahead of this too, at least for myself. I have the worst style I'm wearing sweatpants. I'm wearing what Strudwick used to call a leisure suit every day. So I chirping these guys, if I'm gonna chirp, is a little unfair considering like my sweatpants have stains on them right now.
Yeah. Donor, you're the best, man. We love you. Hey, I'm really happy for you, your family, and Josh, and the way that he's been able to transition over to Buffalo. He looks awesome, and continued success. And go Leafs, go, baby.
And shout out Andrea for really the one taking Josh everywhere, because obviously you were playing for the majority of his life. Actually,
Yes.
his whole life. So
Yes.
shout out Andrea.
Yes, Andrea did everything, so I was lucky. So
And the fact that she's bringing the Coyotes back to the desert. She's part of the ownership group. Can I throw some in too?
yeah, you're in.
Sure, Gary would love that. All right, Donor.
We saw, Stolars with some comments to the team. Dustin Wolf, I think it was last night, a little frustrated. I think they only had 9 goals in their first 7 games. What do you make of goalies, kind of calling out the team a little bit? Or should goalies just shut the fuck up and stop the puck?
Well, okay. Now, I think that's probably a pretty common response from players when goalies call teams out. The Dustin Wolf one Wednesday night, it's like, this he's played fine, right? Like, he had an incredible year last year, completely carried the team. He's going to probably have to carry them again this year if they have any chance of doing anything. They've done nothing. Biz already mentioned 9 goals in 7 games, but still second year in the league. I understand the frustration he's having, but I don't need to hear my goalie saying like I can't produce offense. Like, it's almost the way you word it a little bit.
Right.
Like, Stolars was kind of calling out effort and things like that. Wolf's was a little worse. It's like I can't score goals. Like it's like, all right, well, we're all trying to score goals here. Like there's no, maybe Flames fans would tell me I'm wrong. It's not lack of effort. There's not a huge high skill level on that team. And so to hear the goalie like mention like, well, the one thing we're struggling at, I have nothing to do with that. That
I had
would
my
frustrate
guy.
me. I had my guy. I had my guy.
That game they had 37 shots on net, so it's not like they got some opportunities. I would have been okay because a lot of the chances against were breakaways, 2-on-1s, high danger area. I would have been okay if he said stuff like that, but they had 37 shots on net. They're trying to create offense, and him saying I can't score goals is just crazy because, like I said with that little rant about Doan, guys are blocking shots left and right. Guys are trying to get in lanes to help the goalies out. Like, I just think going about it that way is not the right way. But
7 games into the season, too.
True. But since when? I don't even remember goalies doing interview scrums. I feel like they never even asked them.
I know. Usually they're like, no.
It could have been the goalies being like, hey, I want the mic.
Yeah. Guys, bring it over here.
Yeah.
Everybody, gather around. Yeah, stop talking to him. He ain't scoring goals for us.
We talked quickly about Schaefer.
Tell that guy to go work on a shot. I got this one.
We talked about Schaefer.
Get the rice
It's been
bucket.
incredible. He tied Marek Zidlicky's record for 6 games to start your career in the NHL with a point as a defenseman. Would be shocked if he doesn't break that next game. He's the best player on the Islanders right now. Like, I know that sounds crazy, and maybe there are Canadian hockey fans out there thinking that I'm nuts for saying I could see him making the team. This level would have to continue until Christmas time when the teams will probably be picked. And if it has, I will be very surprised if he's not on the team. I don't know who would lose a spot, but it's incredible watching this kid out there. Like he's had plays that have resulted in no goals, 4 that are also like out of this world. Spinoramas, tight turns, great no-look passing, and Doan said it best, the
joy,
the
the
joy,
love,
dude.
the passion.
The love for a kid who's lost his mom, and then like how much he appreciates this. It's awesome to see. Awesome for the league and for a fan base that I've battled with forever. I'm very happy for them.
I agree, bang on. Like, not only just the playing ability, but when you get interviewed post game, and listen, like the Islanders and playing there, like it could easily be knocked in a place of like, oh, I would have rather have gone to LA, would have rather have gone to here, would have rather have gone to there. But for him to go up to the mic and say, I love being a New York Islander, and like, tell the fans and express how joyful he is to be a part of that organization. I just think like there's no more important pick they could have got than not only his playing ability, but also his love for playing there. So it's completely rejuvenated the fan base. Like going back to the last few seasons, like the building was half empty. It was dead. It was soulless. It was lifeless. They just built this new place at the Belmont. And now there's a reason to show up because you have this young kid who's got so much life that he's injecting into the team, and he's doing so as the youngest player in the league. So it's remarkable, and like shout out to him for just like voicing that and not holding back and showing his love and appreciation for the place that gave him an opportunity. So it's a good time to be an Islanders fan.
Oh yeah.
I know.
When's the last time we said that?
Also, too, Whit, Zidlicky was 26 years old, I think, when he came over here. Like, so he's 18 years old. Like, to be doing, and Zidlicky had played pro for a long time. So to do this at 18, and like you guys said, like, you can see the joy he's bringing to other players. Like Barzell looks like he's having, like Palmieri, these guys look like they're just having so much fun. And it probably has to do with the arena's more lively. People are wanting to come to the games just to see this kid, right? Like, if he's on TV, you're putting it on.
It changes. We said it previews. One player can completely change an organization. And that's why hitting on a home run on the first overall pick, it's like there's Rangers fans right now talking about Lafreniere that are like, this is not it. This is not a first overall pick. Is that fair? Maybe not. But I see their point. Seeing the Islanders, and this kid who's just brought this life and energy. It's amazing. But Biz, with Detroit playing last night, you covering the game, you're back going after Red Wings fans. And this happened, I think,
he got a
couple weeks
cease and
ago.
desist.
Well, bring it. What are you talking about? Which part are you talking about?
I don't know. It was on the outline. G mentioning that Biz calling Red Wings fans babies.
I did.
Because you snapped a couple weeks ago.
I didn't snap. I'm just telling them. It's like, if you're going to criticize me, at least be accurate with what the fuck you're talking about.
Oh, I see what you said. You deserve to give that guy shit for sure. For sure.
Because I was giving Emmett Finney praise. I did a breakdown of how I like his play away from the puck. And even after I did that and glazed them, I got that guy saying that. And then I got another guy being like, oh, like that wasn't even that impressive of a clip. It's just like, what do you mean it wasn't that impressive of a clip? He
doesn't know puck, that guy.
He doesn't know puck. All right. And the clip that I broke down was the play was in the offensive zone, right? Okay. They're playing against Florida. So the puck comes out of the zone. So they got to regroup. Well, he's a left winger, right? This is a 20-year-old kid. So Larkin's the centerman on that line, but Larkin's about probably, I would say, 5 to 10 feet deeper in the O zone. So Finney recognizes that I got to get out and play center to be a safety valve for my defenseman if they need to headman the puck up. So he ends up sprinting out of the zone and acting as a centerman. Well, Moritz Seider has it on the right side. So he comes to the middle of the ice and he presents his stick for him as an option. And he gets in the lane where he could. The lane was a little tight, so Seider decides, I'm not going to try to seam this through and turn this over. I'm just going to go D to Sherratt. And it also gives Appleton and Larkin were the other two guys on the ice. Appleton had to jump up on the first line because that was when Lucas Raymond was out of the lineup. So when they go D to D, Finney, still acting as the centerman, this is a 20-year-old kid, played fucking four games in the National League. He goes low and slow. He gets below the red line so he can create separation from the guy who's above him as the checker. He gives now Sherratt his backhand, and he's got about a 5 to 8 foot cushion on that guy breathing down his neck. He presents his blade on the backhand. Sherratt fires it up, and he just redirects it so they can go back north. And now at that point, Appleton and his centerman Larkin have tagged up. And obviously Larkin's smart enough to realize I'm now playing the left wing because Finney, the first guy out of the zone, took my position. So it goes in. Appleton gets first guy on the forecheck. It ends up getting rimmed around to the weak side. Well, Finney, from covering and redirecting, he's the third guy in the zone. So he noticed Seider ends up going a pinch because he's closer to that puck now along the wall. Well, what's he do?
Tell me you covered him on D. Tell me.
He covers him. He covers him on D. I know. That's what I'm saying.
Coaches were probably
Imagine not liking that clip.
It's right.
Imagine saying you're a hockey fan and not appreciating that details of that clip.
And it was a bit of a broken play off the pinch. He stays patient on the line. It comes to him. He fucking gets it on his backhand as a bobbling puck, and he makes sure it gets deep in the zone. Well, then it's a 50-50 battle with the guy deepest in the zone. He holds position, sees Seider, comes back. Then he acts as the F3. Then Detroit gets possession. And when he realizes that, he knows that there's no one in front of the net, and he makes a beeline. So he goes from being the safety valve for Seider as the D-man to now being the net front on the screen for Bobrovsky, where Appleton ends up getting the 1T pass, and it's in the back of the net. So then he's saying, oh, the one guy tweets at me, oh, you're shitting on us. Now you're going to glaze us. It's like, my God, shut the fuck up. I've had enough with these goddamn Detroit Red Wings fans. You know what that is last night? Losing to the Buffalo Sabres? That's called karma. That's what that's called. Now get off my dick.
Fair. Get off his dick, folks. Get off his dick.
I'm done glazing you Red Wings fans.
I also want to bring.
I'm done.
I want to bring this over, Biz. It pains me to say because this guy is so fucking cocky right now. But Pasha's Devils and in the discussion of first overall picks who can change the franchise, like they are humming. Jack Hughes looks incredible. And I'm starting to get worried a little bit about how good of a team the Devils actually have when healthy. I think we said that it was all about health, and it remains the same. But I see that line with Carter. Who else is on that line with them? Look that up for me quick. Oh,
Pasha's going to tell you. Look at this guy puffing his fucking chest out.
Run the disclaimer.
Warning, the following statements are about to be made by a deranged Devils fan. The views expressed are his and his only. Take everything you hear with a grain of salt because... remember, he is a deranged Devils fan.
What a beautiful way to wake up this morning, seeing the Devils first place in the league.
Carter got that goal last night. Who's on that line with him?
It's Mercer and Brown, Whit.
I was thinking of Brown, too, just driving the net. He scored against Edmonton, and Mercer, who Pasha wants on the top 6, but maybe loves him in his role in this third line.
Well, no, actually, up until last night, Mercer was playing second line wing with Heischer and Meyer. Cody Glass got hurt against Toronto, so Mercer slid into the 3C role last night, and he excelled. 2 primary apples. He was driving play. He looks a lot faster this year. I think last year he was a little bit slow, wasn't moving his feet, a little static on the ice. So yeah, like we talked about him 2 weeks ago, he's been incredible. But you know what? Like I've talked about Jack, Bratt, Heischer. The big dogs are the big dogs. We've given them enough praise, but I just want to shout out the penalty kill going up against Minnesota's number one ranked power play last night. Devils go 3 for 3. They've now killed off 21 straight penalties. Last year, they were first in the league in the combined PK plus power play percentage. That has now continued into this year. They're still number 1 in that. So just really impressive penalty killing. And, you know, part of that comes down to certain guys. Like a guy like Brendan Dillon, I want to shout out.
Back-to-back goals.
Back-to-back game-winning goals, yeah. After having neck surgery. He had the Eichel surgery in the summertime, freak injury in the playoffs. There was rumors he was never going to play again. But he had that Eichel neck surgery, and he's looked great this year. He also looks faster. Him and Nemetz have been that third pair, and yeah, I mean, back-to-back game-winning goals, like from a third-pairing D-man, you know, that's nice contributions. So, you know, he's been the big part of it, and I think the goaltending too, you know, Marchand gets hurt, 3-4 games in, everyone's like, oh, here we go again. Jake Allen's been rock solid, and then last night, Nico Dawes, rock solid. So there's a lot of people other than the top dogs contributing. Arsenio Gritsu
that's a good team. That is what any good team has.
I'm still shocked at what Allen signed for as far as an extension. Is he only making like $1.5 million per year?
Yeah, but it was like 6 years or something. It was like a really weirdly structured deal, but like great for the cap hit. Yeah.
Pasha, quickly, when playing, I remember that when you talked about the power play percentage and the PK, like both being so important, a lot of teams talked about you want to be at 100%, or 105%. If we can get 85% on the penalty kill and 20% on the power play, that's a great special teams team. Devils right now are at 135%. So they get the second best PK and the second best power play. That can actually carry you to winning a division, right? So like that's elite right there.
Big thing I saw too, and like it's little things you see with good teams is just being face-off ready. Like their first goal last game against Mini, face-off ready. Brown takes it to the net. Cotter scores, and then Gritsu gets his first one, just being ready off of a face-off, shooting quick.
Yeah, that's a great point. And you go back to when they beat the Oilers the other night, which Witt actually just completely glossed over, didn't even mention on the last pod, funny enough. But Jesper Bratt, right off the face-off on the power play, like 3 seconds into the power play, same thing. So that's actually a really good point. They have a lot of goals this year have come directly off of, you know, face-off ready plays. Good to know you've been watching, Ans. I love that.
The Devils are a really good team right now. And Jack Hughes, I think he's maybe, and this probably isn't on his mind, but I think ESPN, Pasha, I saw a clip of you saying had him the 34th best player in the league. Maybe it's one of those like Jordan memes. I took that personal. I don't know if that was Jordan in that meme, but that could be part of this. And if he stays healthy, it'll be 100 points. It'll just be 1 year too late for you, Pasha.
Where do you got him? Where do you got him on the rankings list, Pasha?
1.
I mean, there's always like the health thing, but like, you know, a healthy Jack Hughes, I put him in the 5 to 8 range.
I think that's what?
Are we including defensemen?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If we're including all players, like I think that's crazy.
I'd go top 15.
That's fair.
But this is a deranged Devils fan. I mean, Pasha really does think Pasha thinks he's better than McDavid. He just won't. I'm not kidding you.
No.
Is he better than Crosby?
Today he is, yeah. What? Why you laugh?
Wow.
I'm not saying
bro,
he's a
you're
better
talking
player
about
overall.
a guy
Today,
buddy,
if they play tonight, who are you picking? Jack
did you
Hughes
watch
over
Four
Crosby
Fucking Nations
tonight?
Why are we paying to bring you to the Four Nations tournament if you're not going to fucking watch?
You want
to go on best? It's not
selective
even close.
He was wrecked all weekend in Montreal. That's where he lost me the money from the meme coin thing too.
That's right. He lost. How much did he lose you?
30 grand, I think it was. So he came to Four Nations. This is what he did. He lost me 30 grand. He got crippled for 3 nights and decided that Hughes is better than Crosby. What a trip, Pasha.
And he brought his girlfriend on the trip.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he
No, I
did.
didn't.
No, he
Dude,
didn't.
they were in the presidential suite. I swear. I talked to Dave.
Shut the fuck up.
She got to fly first class, too.
Oh my
PJ.
God. Oh my
Crazy.
God.
Get this guy off the screen.
Did somebody write or send the tweet of one of the deranged Devils fans saying that Nico Hischier is the best two-way center the league has seen since Patrice Bergeron?
Yeah, and I had tweets written back to the guy, but I was like, I'm not getting involved. Like, he literally wrote a tweet pretending that Barkov was never born.
Or Kopitar.
Yeah, like, I was like, this guy. And then there was another Devils fan saying that Hughes is the number 3 player in the league when healthy after McDavid and McKinnon. So these people, they're crazy, dude. They're a bunch of David Putties. You remember David Putty and Seinfeld? Got to support the team. Devils, they're nuts. So we can move on from them.
Please.
Biz, Monday night, Amazon Prime, I believe it's Ottawa, Boston.
Yeah.
2 teams.
Boston had a good start, but what did they drop 5 or 6 straight now?
Buddy, I watched them in the Marchand return game. Let's actually start with Marchand there.
Yeah.
The fact that his first ever game for the Bruins
Crazy.
was 16 years to the day of his return as a Florida Panthers. That's the stuff you
It's all
can't script.
scripted.
Just
It's all
insane.
Biz thought they did it on purpose, remember?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't think that's the dumbest thing to
I don't
line
think it's
that
the
up.
dumbest thing you've ever said. I think it's a little dumb.
Did you tweet that that Jack Hughes is a top 3 player? Then it's
You think that there's no chance that they correlated that?
no
at all?
chance.
Okay.
No, just because it's so, like, I don't even know if they'd know the day he played for the Bruins in 2009. So it's
Okay.
like,
All right, I'm a
so-
fucking moron. I'll eat it.
but the video was awesome. The Bruins, the fans, I mean, he hopped on the ice for warm-up, so that's 6:30. A lot of people aren't coming in till puck drop. There was a big pop then, and then the video for him, he mentioned after he didn't get emotional until they showed his kids on the screen. Imagine that's kind of hard-hitting. And then even the way he spoke after, like even before he mentioned the best part of Boston's the fans, after he talked about, he really didn't blame the Bruins. Like he kind of made it clear, like you don't have a right or you shouldn't be mad at the management for trading me. The way it all went down was just a crazy story that only he and Don Sweeney really know the truth about. And then also he even, I think, brought up the fact that he could see himself working for the Bruins someday. Maybe I made that up. I thought I saw that. But any takeaways, Biz, besides just a special night for the guy?
No, just like, yeah, he's such a, he's so self-aware and he's so good at evaluating every situation, right? And like really thinking about it and processing it. He did say, I think there's things that both sides would have done differently and when reflecting on it. And I don't know if that was maybe him thinking at the time, you know, he valued himself at a certain dollar amount where maybe as it was, the trade was going down and before they'd won and he went to Florida and had success, maybe thinking, hey, could I have taken less and stuck around and been a Bruin for life? But as he mentioned in that interview question, he's like, it all worked out the way that it should have. And that the move ended up creating for him. Yeah. But also it's probably got to feel good for Bruins fans, like to some degree, seeing a guy that gave as much time and energy to your organization, who's a guy who will one day be lifted to the rafters there. I believe Grinelli's writing in the chat, it feels awful. Like I get that feeling too, but we clearly know that they're in a rebuild situation and they're not going to be making playoffs, at least in my opinion, for years to come until they get better, where they got to give a guy who gave as much as he did an opportunity to go win another Stanley Cup. And as he pointed out, like get to enjoy memories and moments that'll last a lifetime for him. So as much as it sucks, I'm sure it was just an awesome night for him to return. And we're going to be talking to the Rear later as he comes on, and I'm sure he was in attendance for it all. So, you know, he was one of the guys who got to watch him play for all those years. And I've been saying it for probably about, I would say 5 to 6 years. And I think 5-6 years ago, people were like, I don't know, man. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. Like, I think it's undoubtedly that he is at this point a Hall of Fame player.
That finals might have got him into the Hall of Fame. He was that dominant.
Maybe, but even before that, like all those, like for a decade with the Bruins, like tell me a more clutch, reliable winger that was able to sustain it for that period of time. There's not many guys who do that.
If you're a real Bruins fan, you were rooting for him to win the Stanley Cup.
Correct.
I think you're crazy
Exactly.
if you say otherwise. So,
And I think that's why Bruins fans love him, is because he wasn't given anything, right? He came in as a fourth line guy, earned everything that he had. Really,
he was on your fourth line in Moncton when you went to the Memorial Cup final.
Yeah,
So he's always
exactly.
had to earn it.
Yeah, he's earned everything, and it is funny how during the video, he's choked up, and then when they show his family and then him at the hospital with like other players, you could tell that's when it really hit him.
I can't even imagine that. Like, I went back to Pittsburgh after like 4 years where I was good for one of them, and I was kind of like, oh my God, like this is weird, this is hard. So it's times a million for a guy who won a cup there, was a star player there, always took a discount, and then to see like where his kids are born and all that, it was cool. Hey, I've chirped some videos given to players on their return. That is obviously not the case in this
That
instance.
one's warranted.
So, in terms of Boston, they're horrible. I saw Grinelli put a tweet out this morning retweeting someone of the forward lineup for the Bruins tonight against Anaheim. It's got to be one of the worst forward lineups in the league, and that's with Pastrnak, like a top. Oh, sorry, Pasha, a top 5 player in the league in my mind. I know he's not Jack Hughes, but they're bad. And Ottawa, luckily, Shane Pinto, I know they're playing Monday. Shane Pinto's carried that team. Brady gave a press conference, said this surgery is a bump in the road. So they just need to hold serve here for a little bit till he comes back. But not really excited to see Boston play at all. Is that bad?
No, that's good. I mean, maybe not for Monday Night Prime Hockey, but
no, still tune into the game. Watch
yeah,
Boston.
absolutely. I mean, hey, listen, it's on a Canadian broadcast, right? So if you want to see an Ottawa win, watch them pump the Boston Bruins, who stink.
And quickly before we throw it over to Coop Biz, 2 teams I kind of want to shout out: Pittsburgh Penguins, surprising 5-2 start.
Yes.
This Brazeau, he's got 5 goals. So maybe this isn't a fluke. The X Factor G was just late a couple of years on that. And the Seattle Kraken, both those teams we shit on in the previews. They've both looked very good, surprisingly. So let's see if that can continue. But it is a long year, so we'll see.
And before we throw it to Coop, we kind of glanced over because we brought on Doan, was just the Toronto Blue Jays. I mean, obviously they're heading into the World Series. Like, I'm not the biggest baseball fan, and I'm not just all of a sudden pretend like I was watching every Jays game, but couldn't be more proud of them and what they've been able to accomplish. That Seattle series was probably one of the most iconic baseball series in a long time. Just the swings, Toronto going down 0-2, especially when they started off at home, going to rattle 2 wins off there. Then they lose game 5, win game 6, and then obviously pull it out in game 7. So all the Vladdy stuff, that Springer, I mean, talk about a more clutch player over the last, 7, 8 years.
How about his gloves, Biz? His gloves I was telling you about.
Yeah, he's got the Hartford Whalers. He grew up a Hartford Whalers fan. And I guess he's going to be donating those gloves to Hockey Hall of Fame after this is all said and done. So let's hope it's with a World Series, because this would be the biggest.
I hope so too.
This would be the biggest upset. When's there been a final that's been this big of a spread as far as the gambling spread? I mean, it's had to have been a long time, because you're talking about the greatest baseball player who's ever lived. Probably surpassed Babe Ruth, but with what he's doing now, right?
Oh, he's surpassed everyone. I don't think there's an athlete who's ever performed in one game like he did in Game 4 of the NLCS. He hit 3 home runs and struck out 10 people. That is straight like Steve Nebraska. Anyone seen that movie? You guys know that movie? I believe it's called The Scout. Who's the Brendan? I don't know. Brendan Fraser plays this super prospect, and it's like the part of the movie that people chirped is like, this is so stupid. Nobody would ever be able to hit home runs and pitch. It's like, no, Shohei Ohtani is truly the best at his sport. Better at his sport than anyone else. I said that about McDavid for a while. Ohtani's the guy. Also, Grinelli puts in here, biggest odds in over 20 years for a World Series, Biz. You were bang on there.
It'd be like a goalie being able to play. It'd be like a player being able to play goalie and then score 35
Well, Dustin
goals.
Wolf's going to try it after his comments
really?
with his team. Yeah, he's
really.
going to have to do that.
Hey, here's a stick,
Yeah.
Dustin. Good luck.
Yeah, here,
Imagine
go
the
work
goalie
half
running
wall.
the half wall in his pads and then like sprinting back for a shorthanded chance.
Goldberg.
Yeah, you're right. Goldberg, the goalie, knuckle puck time.
I think I believe the last time a goalie ever got a penalty, but there's a rule. If you're the goalie, you can't touch the puck past center ice. And it was Patty Waugh who was fed up with his team and the way that they were going up the ice with it. And he took matters into his own hands. And I don't even think he knew the rule. So as he skated up the ice and he touched the puck across center ice, they blew it down and gave him a penalty. Don't know exactly what the penalty's called, but why can't goalies go up the ice? That should be a thing.
I agree.
And then you can be able to hit them.
I think once they pass center ice, though, it should be open season. Yes. That should be an NHL rule.
Like soccer. Soccer, the goalies can go up, right, Whit?
Yes.
Yeah.
They'll come up trying to get maybe a corner kick late in the game. Goalies also can't serve penalties in the penalty box unless you're playing for Brian Yandel. Everyone remembers the clip. Frankie, get in the fucking box. Frankie. And the ref didn't know what to do. And next thing you know, Frankie, the goalie, is sitting in the penalty box. So
I would also say that Springer home run has surpassed
Joey
the bat
Bats?
flip. Joey Bats, right? You're going to the World Series. Still the biggest one in Toronto Blue Jay history, Joe Carter. That ended it all, right? That was
Jumpin'
was that a walk-off?
off
Against
Mitch
Philly.
the Wild Thing Williams, the lefty pitcher who was like a real-life Charlie Sheen in Major League. I don't know if he was ever in prison, but it was the long hair, wildness, gas-throwing relief.
He was like John Crook, but a pitcher.
Yeah, Jon Cooper was on that team.
Yeah.
And it's so rare because you got, well, I guess it could happen in basketball too, and it did, right? The Raptors, the only Canadian franchise for basketball where it's like that in the MLB with the Blue Jays, right? So you have a whole country behind you, and even people who are from Vancouver and probably tend to root for the Mariners as opposed to the Blue Jays, you have to imagine they are now rooting for the Blue Jays, where in Canada and hockey, the fucking Calgary Flames don't give a flying fuck if the Edmonton Oilers lift that.
No, they don't want them to win.
They don't want them to.
It's not just Canada. Like, I don't see anywhere in the world besides the city of Los Angeles rooting for the Dodgers. Like, there's discussions that this could save baseball. Next year, baseball could be the last year we see baseball played for quite a while. It sounds like it's the same thing that canceled an NHL season. The owners want a cap. The players are like, no cap, no cap. It's like, buddy, we've been through this. There's going to be a cap. The billionaires don't lose. So if the Dodgers win, it's definitely going to happen. And if the Blue Jays win, maybe there's a chance that other teams are like, all right, you don't just have to be the biggest spender. Yeah.
But you were saying that we talked the other day. You're like, originally when they wanted a hard cap on the NHL, we didn't take the original offer. And then the offer that we ended up taking was far worse because not only do the billionaires always win because they can hold out as long as they want, the more money they miss out on over the course of the holdout, they're going to keep clawing it back and clawing it back. So be smart about if you get a solid first offer, don't just scoff at it. Figure out a way to work with it. That would be, I guess, our advice to baseball.
Not only was the cap lower than I believe they first offered in the NHL when the game came back, they also took 24% of everyone's contracts. So you might, based on us living through this, you might just honestly want to take their first offer. It sounds crazy, but the billionaires don't lose. And with that, we could throw it over to a guy who's a great friend of the show, an amazing coach, and a great friend to RA. So he'll maybe discuss that. Not a great start for the Lightning. Kind of stayed away from that for a little bit. Talked a lot about Team Canada and Jon Cooper's summer overall. So right now I'm going to throw it over to the Tampa Bay Lightning head coach, Jon Cooper. Guys, with here, I want to talk about Jack Pocket. Our partners at Jack Pocket make ordering lottery tickets ridiculously easy. Mega Millions, Powerball, state lottery games, and even scratch-off tickets all on your phone. Millions of dollars are up for grabs each day, and right now, with Mega Millions on the rise, new Jack Pocket customers can get $5 in free lottery credits. Just sign up for Jack Pocket using code PUCK2 and click opt-in to redeem. That's it. Download Jackpocket, America's #1 lottery app. Use the code PUCK2, click opt-in, and start ordering today. Guys, hockey is back, and this season, DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, brings you all the speed, skill, and nonstop action that you love. DraftKings Sportsbook delivers the unmatched intensity of the NHL right to your fingertips. From player props, I hit McDavid, goal against Ottawa this week, plus 145, nice little hit for myself, or the thrill of live in-game betting. Every drop of the puck is your shot to win big. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get paid out $300 in bonus bets instantly. Light the lamp all season long with DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code Chiclets, CHICLETS. That's code Chiclets to turn $5 into $300 bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Joined now by the Tampa Bay Lightning head coach and Team Canada head coach, our good friend Jon Cooper. Coop, what's going on, buddy?
Oh gosh, it's awesome to see you boys. It means hockey's back. It's been quite an eventful preseason and early part of the season, but it's great to be back.
Don't worry, we'll overreact for other teams. We're not overreacting. For
Actually, something we were talking about early season stuff today was that, do you find, like we do, that maybe young guys get out humming a little quicker and older guys after game 20? That's what we were saying on the show today, at least, that the older players takes them a little bit longer than you see some of these young rookies flying, and then they taper off as this thing gets going.
100%. It's the rookie wall, and they're buzzing, and you're like, wow, this is unbelievable. And then all of a sudden they start hitting the wall, and then the vets start taking off, because I don't think, and you guys obviously know, but the grind of 82 games and being able to manage that. And I know that every fan base and everybody wants their team to go 82-0 and expects everything all the time, but it's hard. It is a really hard league, and you're playing back-to-backs and 3 and 4s and getting in at 3 a.m. And it takes so much more to manage, not only that 2.5 hours of a game, but the other, 21.5 hours of your life. And whether you got kids or family and all these other things that go into it, it's hard on the guys, and the rookies just don't quite know yet, or the young guys, and the vets, they know exactly what they're doing.
And your season kind of didn't really. It started even before training camp, because you ended up going to the orientation camp as well for the Olympic team. So you were even kind of turning it on the summertime as well.
Yeah, that was, to be honest, that was a phenomenal event, and I wasn't quite sure what to expect. Just from our side of things, I think there was 43 players that came in. And so I kind of, was narrowly looking at that and what to do with the guys. And it's the commitment from Hockey Canada, and I'm not speaking for other countries, but, being involved with them has just been phenomenal. They do the extra 5%. It's really cool to be around. But, with our guys, it was so interesting to meet players I hadn't met before. And you take World Championships I've coached in 4 nations and some of these international events and the World Cup, but there's a group of players I'd never met before. Like, I'd never been in a room with Quentin Byfield before, or Evan Bouchard. I can go down a list of like 15 of the players I'd never met before. And so, I'd met Tom Wilson, but I'd never, sat down, for 20 minutes and actually got to know the guy. And just so many things. It was so beneficial in that regard for me personally to just get to know everyone that's kind of on the cusp of making this team. So in that side, it was really rewarding. But I think the most rewarding part for me was being together with the women's team and the para team. And the whole orientation camp was just not the men's team. And for me, I can't say enough how educating it was for myself, our players, the men's team, and to be able to put a name with the face with the women and the para guys. And I know the para players won't be there at the same time we will, but the women will be. And just to sit down, we did a golf event together, raised, I think, $500,000 for charity, and did just some super, somebody got to play with, Marie-Philippe Poulin and Sidney Crosby. We're in the same golf cart together. Like, seriously? That's and they were so generous with their time and with the kids and families, and it was really cool. And then to hear the para player stories, it is, you talk about adversity. We don't face anything of what those guys have faced. And I just thought it was so well done. And it was 5 phenomenal days at the end of a summer that, just to get to sit down with a whole different group of, athletes and listen to their stories. Like one night, we're out at this dinner and, I'm sitting down with some of the girls, and Sarah Nurse asked her, what was the biggest game you ever played? And she went into an Olympic final, and it was super cool, like to hear their stories and just be involved with them. And so I thought it was a huge step forward for all of us, before we go to Milan.
It must be cool too, because obviously, our players are paid handsomely, but the women's don't get the pay that we do in the Paralympics, and so they're playing for pride, right? Like that must be an amazing message for your group to just see the pride that those people are there for, playing for their country.
There's no question. And I think it worked in the reverse for our guys, because our guys were looking at the dedication that they put in. And
that's why McDavid took the discount.
You might not make the team.
But the women's team were going right into training camp. So, their coach is a great guy, and Troy Ryan, we were playing golf together, and all the girls were needling me saying, "Hey, training camp's coming up. Like, let him win some of the golf." So he's in a good mood as camp comes up. But it was, it's, just the dedication. And these are, the NHL players go and play, on TV and some of these big events. But the women, a big topic conversation too, was the professional league. I was really interested to hear everything that's going into that, the strides that they're taking. And so it's really cool for them that they're getting more and more exposure, because for me personally, I think the NHL selfishly is a way better league when everybody's watching, and to team up with the women and what they're doing professionally, I see it nothing but a win-win for everybody. And so hopefully, something like that can come together in the future, because a hockey fan's a hockey fan, and it doesn't matter the gender, who you are. You want everybody to be in this together. And I think that was one of the super cool things that came out of orientation camp.
And also the competitiveness of it, like going back to the PWHL, like you look at women's basketball, and they got obviously the Caitlin Clark effect, but every time I'm watching basketball clips online, like I don't really give a fuck about the NBA anymore. I want to see these chicks going at it. Like,
I'll tell you, they're honestly, in the girls that I spoke to, like they're kind of choked about, they feel like some of the rules.
They want hitting.
They want hitting.
100%.
Yeah, I know.
Let's go.
We
had Sarah Nurse on last year. She said the same thing. Like, I think most of the girls want it to be more physical.
No doubt. And they're like as competitive as the guys. And so it's, hopefully that happens too, because I'm telling you, the players definitely want it.
Kind of going back to Four Nations with that, like Jarvis, like in the room, that type of character was much needed, much like Drew Doughty and Brad Marchand. Who would you say is the female version of that? Like who really like caught you off guard where, wow, okay, this girl is just full of personality, life, and very quick-witted and burying teammates?
That's a tough one for me, because I don't want to single people out.
Okay.
They were, let me just tell you, as a group.
Okay.
And regardless of like who was sitting where, and I'd go over and speak with them, there were characters everywhere. And they're hilarious. They got smart mouths. They're not afraid to give it back to you. And I just really enjoyed that about them. But they're super, super educated about the game and what they have to do to become the best. And the other kind of cool thing is, it's like, they, especially the young ones, they really look up to some of our players. And it's, and that's what I thought was great about our players. They were super gracious and loved hanging out with everybody. So, but I'll tell you, there are a lot of characters on that team.
Are they the most in awe of Crosby? Is he kind of the guy? He's it?
Yeah.
He is him?
I think he's the GOAT. I think that guy could walk into MLB locker room and people look at him like, holy cow. Right. Like he's that type of guy, which I think Poulin too is on the women's side. Like those are, I mean, of our generation, I mean, they're the two GOATs.
For, Canadian hockey fans and like us, I'd love to know the preparation going into the Olympics. Is it a weekly or bi-weekly Zoom call with you and your staff and the management? Is it once a month? Is it just when you see them in their cities? Like, how will the preparation go picking the team?
I think like Four Nations was a huge step forward for us. I know, I'm sure it was for the US team too. I think that was a big reason everybody kept their coaching staffs together.
Yeah.
Because you have a feel for your players now, for like the Seth Jarvises who I'd never coached before. And so and I'm not saying who's making the team or not, but these are just players I never would have known before. And so now they have a taste of what we're all about. But it's, the management team and run by Doug Armstrong, they're so dialed in of their assignments and their schedule and where everybody's going. And that was a great thing about orientation camp, because they educated us on what they're doing. We educated them on what we're doing, how it's all going to come together. Ironically, we've got a Zoom tomorrow with all the coaches, and we're kind of, detailing out what our next month's going to look like. And it's not on a player procurement part on the coaches quite yet. That's management's looking after all that. I think when it gets down to the nitty gritty, then we come in and say, okay, what type of players are we looking for that's going to fit the style of play we want to play? But a little early for that, 2 weeks in, but that will come about, in the next month or two.
I was just going to ask you about the coaching staff. Do you get a say in who you want, or that's up to Army?
No, that was a collaboration, no question. I think it was easy. The thing is, like, when you go through and look at the wealth of Canadian coaches out there, there's just so many good ones and great ones, to be honest. And, I'm pretty thankful and fortunate that I was put in the position I am, that I was able to come back and coach. But, it's for fit of like what you're trying to accomplish, whether it's D zone or PK or power play. And you remember, you're taking head coaches that are used to kind of doing everything, now putting in a situation where they're have, an assignment. And so that was a big look for me and Doug and who we could put in these situations. And I think, with Pete and Butch and Talk and Misha, like, we kind of found this group of guys that all kind of complement each other, but are outstanding in specific situations we need them in.
I was going to go back to that orientation. So it was in Calgary. You guys, I believe at one point you guys went up to Banff, but I caught rumblings that you got to experience your first Calgary Stampede. Was it before or after that orientation?
It was before. It's so crazy. So I'm from Prince George, and honestly, it's not that far from Calgary. It's probably, I don't know, I'm guessing like a 7-8 hour drive. And I'd never been to Stampede, and it's the most famous rodeo ever. And I was like, okay, I have to go at some point. So it just kind of worked out that, before I was going to Idaho, I had 2 days. I'm like, I'm going to go do Stampede, and went there, and I was blown away at the party. I mean, that's it. Have you guys been?
Oh, you think?
Biz went for, I think he slept 10 hours
I was
in
conceived.
7 days.
I was conceived at the Calgary Stampede. It's in my DNA.
Right on the floor of Cowboys.
In the porter potty, like that viral
The old
clip.
Cowboys too.
Yeah, the porter potty clip that just went viral. Yeah.
That was Biz being made.
I think the city completely shuts down.
Oh, yeah.
People don't
There's
work.
people all day, every day. And there's massive, just events and outdoor events. The weather was beautiful. And it was, so I was there 48 hours and had to get out.
That's all you need. That's all you need,
gosh.
buddy.
It's Vegas.
And you were there with the Four Nations trophy, right? They wanted you kind of doing like a present.
Well, so it's funny you ask that. No, that's not why I went. And I didn't even know it was there.
Oh.
We'd been there. I was with my good buddy Scott Kershke and group of people, and with the Hockey Canada people, and so it was our second night. We were leaving, and we went to this. It was great. It was Brian Burke's birthday.
Oh.
Everyone had their tie on, but not tied.
Oh, he's an OG. I love that. Yes, exactly. He's the best. So I had a blast with him. So anyway, then we were going to the tent of Cowboys, which, I didn't really know what it was. I'm like, tent, okay, whatever, a couple hundred people there, I guess. And so we get, and all of a sudden there's this massive stage. We're in the back, and we get brought in here, and I'm like, Jesus. And I kind of see all the people, but it's like hundreds of people deep. So we get in there, and then Scott Salmon, Hockey Canada, he whips around the corner with the Four Nations thing. He goes, hey, you're going to walk that out on stage. I'm like, no, I'm not. Not a chance.
I'm not working,
He goes, "Oh,
Scott.
yes." He goes, oh, yes, you are. And so after a little bit of encouragement, I'm like, okay. And then all of a sudden you hear the announcement. I walk out there and there's 20,000 people
Oh yeah.
going nuts.
That's awesome.
It was super cool. And I was like blown away. I didn't even know what to do with it. And so we walked it out there and somebody threw a cowboy hat on my head and they sang the anthem. It was
Oh man, that's special.
goosebumpy. It was super cool. But Calgary, what a town. So much fun. People were so welcoming and they were fired up over that night.
And just kind of like looking ahead here, Olympic year, obviously huge. I think it was Wayne who might have told me the story at Gaza. There's like some special tournament there, and then you and Walt, and I believe it was Dougie Waite ended up getting paired together. I'll throw the rest of the story over to you. This just sets the table, folks.
Oh, wow. You did your homework, Biz.
Yeah, first time ever.
Okay, so it's called the Bull Rush, and it's the kind of the end of the year member guest up at Gaza. And it's tons of fun. So Doug Waite sends me a text. He's like, hey, let's play the practice round. I'm like, I'm not playing the practice round. Practice round plus all the other rounds, like I'll need a massage for 5 straight days after that. He goes, no, you're playing. I'm like, all right, I'll play. It's Doug Waite, and he's the best. So I'm like, who are you playing with? And he tells me, he goes, I'm bringing Big Walt Tkachuk. And I'm like, no way. Okay. So then I'm bringing in Jeff Blashill. So he, the funniest thing, he goes, yeah, we're going to make this a US-Canada thing on the US versus Canada. And I didn't have the heart to tell at the time. I'm like, or tell Blash, I'm like, hey, Blash, by the way, we're doing this US-Canada thing. I know you're an American. You've coached the World Championships 5 times for the US, but you're going to have to play the role as a Canadian versus, so we were kind of laughing about it. Anyway, I haven't talked to Keith Tkachuk at all before this. I've obviously know him, but I hadn't spoken to him. And I show up to the practice round, and I'm fully decked out in Team Canada Four Nation stuff. And I'm like, where's Walt? And Walt turns the corner, like coming up to me, and he is fully decked out in USA Four Nations. And we didn't even talk about it. And it's actually, I've got a cool pic of it. And we had the best time. It was so much fun. And I hate to admit it, though, it came down to the 18th hole, and Waiter and Walt got us.
Just a sign of things to come.
That's not good.
It was a little rattling.
Give him the small ones.
That's not good too, because Walt sucks at golf. He was just on a trip.
Yeah, he's probably getting 40 shots.
He was just on a trip for a week and a half and didn't make one birdie.
Coop. Hey, listen, it's just like Four Nations. They won the round robin game. They celebrate like they won it all.
We like when they practice rounds.
And then we get the big one. So don't worry about that, buddy. Wait till Stampede next year when you got the fucking gold medal around your neck.
Oh no, he was great. Walt was great. But it's tough because his boys won a couple Stanley Cups of late. So like there's always we give it to each other a little bit. But I'll be honest, like Keith Tkachuk and Doug Waite might be two of the greatest human beings. And I'll tell you, want to have a good laugh, like Jans, you'd love playing with those guys because they are hilarious on the course. Hilarious.
I was at Matthew's wedding this summer, and I was talking to Dougie Waite for like 2 hours. My wife finally was like, can you please leave this guy alone? He does not want to talk to you. I was fanboying over him. He's the man.
Oh, I must have missed the invite.
Yeah, Trip Tracy was there.
I'm missing the Trip Tracy joke, obviously.
No, we just had him on, and I didn't realize we were talking about weddings, and he brought up the fact that he went to every single Stall boy's wedding. All 4 of them.
Uninvited.
No.
And at Jordan's is when Jordan got traded. He got traded right after his reception at his wedding to Carolina. So
his agent was there, and he says, "I got to go tell him that he just got traded right after they tied the vows." Like,
oh boy,
brutal.
Another reason, we'd love to chat with you right now is this episode is RA's return.
Yeah.
So I know that there's been a lot of times that you go into Boston and you and RA meet up, watch some of the games at the Knights of Columbus.
He's a member there now. Coop. No, you laugh.
Yeah, you did get the card.
He's a member.
You did get the card.
$10 a year.
I mean, RA.
Yeah, he's got it on his desk.
Oh my God.
That is unreal.
Signed by RA.
I mean, RA doesn't have many coaches calling him when they land in Boston saying, "Hey, we're going to the Knights of Columbus to watch some hockey and hang."
RA, first time I met him was we won the Stanley Cup, And so
Snuck in
Derek
your locker
Holland,
room.
honestly, this is pretty
It was
much
the
the
bubble
story.
too.
So he
Snuck in.
pierced the
I'm
bubble.
the janitor.
Pierce the bubble.
And so I don't, I just know RA from the pod and, know you guys and all that stuff. But he to me, like, he was a big, the great thing about your pod is you could talk hockey, you talk smack, and everybody knows, the inners of the game and the whole thing. But RA was kind of the guy that, he kind of directed traffic. He was a little bit of an encyclopedia in his head of whatever. But the things I loved about him was like, God damn, he recommended this movie or this TV show. And I'm like, God, that was actually pretty good. So I'm like, I got to go to Spittin Chiclets to get what I'm going to watch on the road. And so we're with the party, and he has a relationship with Derek Holland Newsy, who was our assistant coach at the time, and great guy. And so they had something. They went to, I think one was a grad assistant, one was in school at the time, wherever in upstate New York. And when we're at the party, and I turn around and there's RA, like standing right beside the Stanley Cup in Tampa, Florida. I'm like, what the hell's RA doing here? And he's just like,
I got a show for you.
yeah. So, but he's been phenomenal. And so when we go to Boston, I've become really good friends with Jimmy VC, Big Jimmy.
The best.
Yeah, the best. So I got tied in with him, with Kelly Chase, longtime friend of mine, and they all played in Peoria together and in the St. Louis Blues organization. So I've had some really good run-ins with him. What a guy. What a phenomenal guy VC is. And so I wish I could throw the accent down, but they're like, hey, you got to come down to the Knights of Columbus. So 2 years ago, it's the Super Bowl, and we're there for the Super Bowl. And so I show up at the Knights, and all the boys are like, we're going to the Knights of the Columbus for the Super Bowl. I'm like, trust me, we're going to the Knights. And we roll in there, and it's right out of like the movie The Town.
$2 beers.
It is the best. And I'm telling you, I walked in there, didn't know anybody. And at one point, I think I don't know, I can't remember the same night it was, but basically I walked out a member, paid a membership for 2 years.
Unreal.
Yeah. So I've got my fob card. I carry it around with me just in case I got to sneak in there.
Yeah, you can go in whenever you want, Biz.
Yeah.
It's not like
like
the
RA's there to open it up.
Yeah.
4 a.m. It's
Whenever you want.
Just going
and
for
it's
a
on
show.
the system. Yeah. I've been to about 50
Yeah.
weddings at the Knights of Columbus.
Do you?
Yeah, in the back there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think even I think Waltz Kachuk's dad, isn't he a member there?
Yeah, he's a member. Yep, for sure.
Oh, there's a Grizzlick. Like there's
Grizzly's
a whole
dad's a
crew.
member, yep.
Crew of hockey people there. So it's it's game on when you go in there.
From the amount of pods you've consumed, I'm not saying you listen to every one. Like, is there one RA moment that sticked out the most when you're like, maybe you text them after you listen to it? Like, what's your favorite stuff about RA that just gets you laughing?
So he's passionate. And so when you get into it's hard to say on the pod because everybody, he kind of delivers to you guys and you guys kind of do all the chirping and then
Yeah.
he chimes in every once in a while. But he's pretty passionate at times about his politics, but he's really passionate about I would sit here and say wagering is a big
That's a good way to put it.
yeah, he's really
Wagering.
you could really push him each way. It's hilarious. And, but yeah, no, his whole, like I said, anytime I'm stuck, I'm like, I need a show. And I just text him and he rolls one out for me. I'm like, oh my God, it's so good. So, oh yeah. Well, he's also a star.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. So he always throws that one in.
He'll be pumped to hear your voice, and like we're excited to have him back. It's been a long time, and I know that if you guys win, you'll be okay with him on the ice with the dog choker on his neck, asking your players questions, right? You'll be okay. You'll give it the thumbs up for that. For your third one,
No promises.
Yeah.
He'll wear it for another one.
Yeah.
I'm not a player, Biz.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't. But switching topics, so going back to Gazer and maybe any fun Wayne stories from the summer, anything else as far as you got your downtime, because that's important too, man. You've been coaching as long as you have, and I don't think people realize the amount of video you're watching, the amount of stress that you guys take on, the fact now that you had to worry about Four Nations last year, you're coming off that, now all of a sudden orientation camp where, man, you have the weight of the fucking country on your shoulders now all of a sudden, you and the rest of the guys, and it's divvied up. But what did you do and get done in your off time that really brought you joy and laughs?
You talking about, I mean, this should be the GOATs podcast. So we're talking about him all. He's the guy, like, even, I don't know what show I was watching last night. And, there's just a Wayne Gretzky reference. And it's like a drama about nothing. And that's, when you're mainstream, but Gretz he is a phenomenal human being. I don't know if there's a greater face for hockey than that guy. And I'll tell you one time, though, he kind of screwed me up. So I brought the whole staff there. And so we had the coaching staff. We're going to do our meetings. And so I've got all the guys. We're like, all right, we're going to go 9:00. We'll meet from 9 to noon. And then we'll we'll go out in the lake and go on the boat and do whatever. The guy's like, okay, we're set. So about to start at 9, Gretz walks in the house at like 8:30 in the morning, or 8:45. And I'm like,
story time.
What are you doing? He's like, well, I thought I'd come and see the boys. Half the guys don't even know. I'm like, oh no, because I know how this is going to go, because there's no better gifted storyteller than Wayne Gretzky. So the guys all roll in and they're like, oh my God. Like, they look at him and like they freeze. And he's like, hey, come on in, boys. 9 turns to 10, 10 turns to 11, 11 turns to 11:45. Now I am like, I can't do it. Like, I can't tell Wayne Gretzky he has to go, but I have to tell him he's got to go. Like, we have to do. So I kind of like, look, I'm like, hey, at some point here, like, we got to do some work. Gretzky's like, oh man, that's no problem. It was 2 hours and like 45 minutes. He says, shakes everybody's hand, leaves. All the guys are like, that might have been the greatest 2 hours and 45 minutes of my life. Like, everybody was. So now I'm like, well, now I'm the bad guy. So now I've gone from good guy to bad guy.
Let's go over our practice plans, guys.
Yeah. So now we're about to go. And this is, like, I've been up at Gosser for 7.5 years. Not once in 7.5 years has the power ever gone out. Ever. We get 5 minutes in, and the power on the entire place in the island
Gretz
goes out.
cut the cord.
He's like, I got to finish these stories.
I truly believe he
Oh yeah,
walked
you
out
want to
and
cut
snipped
me
the
off,
wires.
motherfucker? There goes your power, bitch.
So he, and so I basically had to call him and be like, hey, you guys going on the boat? Because we need to go. And so we all went out in the boat after that. It was phenomenal. But he
just remembers everything. I don't get it.
To a details.
The time of the game in 1989 when it's just like wild. That
Same with baseball too, which is even crazier. You can do it with two sports. Like, he loves baseball too, but hockey, it's insane. Like, he'll tell you stories where you're like, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah,
and that one never even got out.
Yeah,
like, as far as like maybe even trajectory of like where the league would have went, or for expansion, or this or that, or rule changes. But yeah, he's just fascinating to sit down and talk hockey with.
The attention to detail in his stories is remarkable, but it's also like his thought about the future too. So the things he tells me about what he thinks direction of the league and stuff like that. And I'm like, Jesus, I never even thought it that way. And it's like, so like right and smart. And but he's like, everything's with humility, everything, like, even, watching him, Alex Ovechkin's going to break, arguably one of the greatest hockey records you can break. And he, goes through that whole thing, follow him around, the humility, the speeches he gave. I don't know. You can't find a more classier guy than that guy.
Coop, I got the Roback last question. Use code Chiclets on roback.com for generous 20% off your first purchase through the end of the week. CHICLETS on RHOBACK.com. 20% off polos, hoodies, and more with code Chiclets. I probably should have started this off saying congrats on your extension. The question is more, was it you and management's decision to just kind of keep it private? It was pretty funny. All of a sudden it hit Twitter. It was like, oh, they never even announced it.
McDavid's the second biggest bargain contract in the league now.
If you didn't get it the first time, it's roback.com.
There we go. Hey, you might get sponsored here. Roback jerseys next to the Fanatics.
The team keeps playing like this. You might be a co-host on our podcast.
What a motherfucker this guy is.
Oh, we can't do it.
We can't joke around. We can't have a joke.
Thought this is a fun podcast.
76 more games to go.
That's right.
Oh, tons.
Lots of time.
And we can cut that as well.
There's going to be a 10-game heater. I'm telling you.
Chiclets bump.
But was it a decision you guys like, who cares? I'm signed. I love it here. And why do we need to tell the world?
That's basically exactly it. It's There's always one thing about our organization. Everything's done in house, and it's the no drama club, and we're proud of that. And like I said, it's I'm so thankful it's like fairy dust. I stepped in to come to this organization, and they've been so good to me. And ultimately, you just want to do everything in your power to give back, to be so great for the organization. And so it's been a really good marriage.
Well deserved.
You're a legend.
Yeah.
Speaks
Well
volumes
deserved.
of the guy you are too, not wanting it public and stuff. You're a fucking G, dude.
All time.
Yep.
Unreal.
Yep.
2 cups on his way for third, and hopefully a gold medal, so I can shut these idiots.
Well,
up
we got
in
the
here.
practice round at Gaza.
Yeah,
Keith.
that's true. Big
Yeah.
ups. Anytime I talk about Gaza with anyone, they always mention Sean Payton.
Oh,
Well, yeah, that's
The NFL coach.
Yeah.
yeah. There's a crew in there up there of just sneaky guys that you'd never think of getting to meet. But then Sean Payton, I've never that human being. Well, talk about intelligent and bright beyond his years. I see why this guy is the most coveted coach around. He's brilliant and forethinker, passionate. But when he comes to Gaza, and all you have to know is the number 36, because it's 36 holes a day, rain, shine,
Good
no
for
matter
him.
what.
Good
Gamer.
for him.
Gamer on the golf course, has a blast. And but that's another one I find I go out of my way to find time to be around him, because you walk away a better man when you've been with him.
I love it.
just from the amount of laughs.
Well, that too. You tell another guy that can tell stories. Sean Payton, tons of them, and really, really good ones. But the ones I definitely have not heard because they're football stories, or what he came up in life, and his because it's a completely different sport, obviously, and he but his, oh my God, it's he's a beauty, that one.
Blashill, you mentioned, is that how you pronounce his last name? You're so supportive
I
of
love
guys
that.
you used to work with. How happy are you that he's had this great start in Chicago so far, and how good do you think he's going to be for that group? I mean, you've had the chance to work with him, and you've been such a big fan and supporter and friend of him for a long time.
How happy am I? The fact that he's chirping me that they've got more points than us? No, I'm not that happy.
Fuck him. It's
But
competition now.
I'll tell you, it's hard for me to explain because I've been with the same team for a long time. So it's I can't jump and put myself in some of these situations, but I have seen it all in the last decade and a half. And there's a lot of really, really good coaches out there, and there's a lot of really good coaches that don't get the second chance. And I think if you look at Blash's, and I've known Blash a long time, this is not to pump his tires of because we're friends. This is me stepping out of my friendship circle with him. He, lasted a long time in Detroit, kind of when they were in their rebuilding years. And then once you're a head coach, there's a lot of times sometimes you don't want to become an assistant. You feel like you want that next head coaching job. And he took a step back, came with us, and we became a better staff because of him. And I think, and I will speak for him because we've talked about this, I think, being around us, I think helped him in his development as a head coach. And it was a great marriage for all of us. He's a phenomenal human being, cares about his players. He's so damn fun. And, but he was ready to go back. And it just, it hurts because you don't want to lose not only one of your best friends, but he's a hell of a coach, but he deserved this opportunity. And I think he's going to do phenomenal job there. I will not be surprised if, when the Jack Adams ballot comes out in the spring, that he's not one of the guys that are going to be there. So I'm super, super happy for him. And like I said, I think Chicago will be in a better place because I got him as coach.
Thank you so much,
Unreal.
Coop. We
You're the
appreciate you
best,
coming
dude.
on.
You're the best.
Crazy year ahead, man. So good luck in everything. Everything will get firing here soon, and we appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, boys. And remember, Roback.com.
Rollback.com. Chiclets. Use code Chiclets, Coop.
Code Chiclets.
Guys, Whit here, and I want to talk about Game Time. If you want to go to a game, if you want to go to a concert, there's no better way to get it done than Game Time. There's nothing like the start of hockey season. The first blast of cold air as you walk into the arena and the roar of the crowd after a big hit, a breakaway goal, or a fight. It's electric. But getting there, that's another story. It can be painful. Queues, price jumps, getting logged out mid-click. All you want to do is be there, beer in hand, losing your voice with the crowd. But the Game Time app gives the advantage back to you, the fans. It's the hack for unlocking amazing tickets and experiences in a few taps. It's incredibly easy to use, and the Game Time guarantee means you can trust you'll get 100% authentic tickets on time and at the best price. Plus, fees are always included, so what you see is what you pay. Right now, Saturday night, if you live in New England, the Boston Bruins are hosting the Colorado Avalanche, maybe the best team in the league, 8-9 games into this season, with one of the greatest players anyone's ever seen play in Nathan MacKinnon. $95 right now to get in the Garden to watch the Bruins get crushed by the Avalanche Saturday night. $95 to see Nathan MacKinnon and Cale Makar play. So get involved right now if you're in the Boston area and want to use Game Time to catch a Bruins game. Take the guesswork out of buying NHL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Chiclets for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHICLETS for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today. All right, folks. Many people have been waiting for a long time for this day to come. Let's bring on RA and enter his world.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the debut of RA's World here on the Spittin Chiclets podcast. Gang, I missed you, the guys, the fans, everybody. It's been a minute. I had to check out for a little while. I was the LTIR with an upper body injury, cuckoo. I needed a timeout. The boys helped me out. Nah, I haven't been this nervous before a show. I mean, we have to do Gretzky. I had to fucking find pulse. I've been off the wall.
Well, you told him Oates was a better passer than him, so we know you weren't that nervous.
I didn't tell him. I asked him. And I said that 100 times in the show before that. No one challenged me, so I don't know. It was a big deal then, but...
I love it, RA. Great intro, buddy, and no need to be nervous, man. We're so happy to have you back. And this is great.
It's great, man. It's it was like Christmas Eve, man. I got up early. I've been off the wall since I got up, but before we get to the fun stuff, I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping, before we get to the good stuff. First, thanks to you guys, Biz Witt, Dave Portnoy, for allowing me to go on LTIR for as long as I did. I needed a little bit of a timeout, and shit happens in life. Sometimes you fall in skinny knee. Sometimes you fall in a ditch and you can't get up for fucking 6 months, and that's what happened. And you guys really helped me out. You kind of gave me the kick in the pants I needed, and I took a little time out, and I was more of a mental thing, like I said. You guys, it was just, and then I turned the corner, man. All of a sudden, things were good. Things weren't bothering me as much, and I just felt like the old goofball I was fucking 10 years ago. Also, I want to thank the crew: G, Fish, Merles, Ami, Pasha, Memesy, Nick, Berta, Jeff Jacobson, and Julia, for being great teammates. You guys keep the best fucking podcast in the universe, hockey podcast in the universe, going. Without all you guys, it doesn't happen. And I also want to apologize to all you gang too for being a fuck up. I was such a bad bus driver. Even the fucking MBTA wouldn't fucking hire me to drive one of their buses last year. It was a rough ride, so I apologize for that. I love all you guys. I made your jobs hard. I was a pain in the ass, and I wasn't the teammate I pride myself to be. So I'm sorry, and I love you guys. To the fans, same thing. I apologize for sucking at my job and not giving you guys the quality shows you deserve, because we're nothing without all you folks, man. You guys are all over the planet, Canada, Sweden, fucking Australia, all over the place. That's one thing that's always amazed me, just the support we get globally. It's awesome. So sorry for fucking up, but I also thank you for the support. So many of you guys, I know certain social media sites I might be less popular on than others, but I'll tell you, the Instagram DMs, man, but that was very helpful. I mean, not braggadocio, but I mean, every day for the last 16 months, it was, whether it was 1 or 10, it was people on their real names, chiming in, checking in, asking, and I couldn't get back to everybody. I read them all. I got back to some ears, and I just want to thank all the fans so much for that, checking in, and just if I was coming back, all this stuff. And I would have loved to have gotten back to everybody, but I read them all. The support was awesome. And, I love the fans. I love you guys. So I just want to, again, apologize for fucking off, and thanking you guys for the support. Also, my many friends in both hockey media and in the NHL, a lot of guys reached out. like you just mentioned a few minutes ago, Coop, who was just on. It's funny to say, like, this crazy job we have, like, pals with the fucking future fucking Hall of Fame coach. It's just the weird vagaries of life, but he's been aces, man. He's a guy who's checked in on me frequently. So I love that guy. But, even media folks who I don't know well have DM'd me and sent their messages. And, the hockey world, we know how good it is. And that just sort of reiterated with me. And, of course, the best friends in the world that I have and my Dynamite family, they've been aces through this whole thing. And I just want to thank them as well. And one final thank you to Clint Malachuk. This is a guy who, when we interviewed him, I didn't know him before we interviewed him. 2 hours later, I coincidentally bumped into him in the casino, and he saw something in my eye or my face. I made a comment about divorce, and he just saw something was off with me, and he's like, hey, he pointed me in the chest, say, take your phone out, take my number down, and it was just like, this guy, just met me, doesn't know me from a hole in the wall, and he's willing and offering to help me out, and it took a couple months for me to get out there, but I went out to his ranch. It's called the Ranch Teammates for Life out in Minnesota. I went out there for a couple of weeks to come up for a little bit of air, and I just want to thank Clint. He does so much for so many veterans out there. It's primarily a veteran place. They do rehab and PTSD and guys who don't have houses, stuff like that. They do so much stuff. So I do want to shout out. It's the ranchteammatesforlife.org. The ranchteammatesforlife.org. All one word. At the top right of the screen, you can donate there. If you can, I'd appreciate it. He'd appreciate it. Again, you're helping a bunch of veterans. So, Clint, I love you, brother. I'm eternally grateful for everything you did for me, man. So, all right, that's all the fucking serious stuff.
All right, buddy. You sound unreal, and that was incredible, buddy. I think everybody realizes like how big of a heart you have, and buddy, we're just so thrilled to have you. We're not here without you. You're the founding father of this podcast, buddy, and I'm really happy that you've gotten all this support throughout the last 14, 18 months, whatever you said, because you deserve it. And hey, let's just fucking keep this thing going, have some fun, and get back to your regular scheduled program.
Absolutely, man. Just looking to have some fun, have some laughs, and it better be the only thing I'm a father of. I'll tell you that.
All right, I'll say this: everyone should understand how good of a guy you are.
Yeah.
Because I was so goddamn mad at you that if you weren't as good of a guy as you are, you would not be here. So we are thrilled to have you back, buddy. It's been a long time, and we appreciate you being back and being ready to roll.
I appreciate it as well, man. So as far as RA's world, it's a new sandbox. I'm going to be playing it every week with these guys. Probably some trial and error, maybe some hits, maybe some misses, but basically I'm going to do a lot of off-ice stuff. The TV and movie chatter that, I used to bring on here. I think there's a fair amount of the audience who misses that. So not on this episode, but next week we're going to dive into all the good shit I watched when I was on long-term injured reserve. But also we're going to bring back the first segment we ever did on Chiclets, All Right Hamilton. For you non-OGs, it's we solicit listener questions, and make a segment out of it. Hopefully you guys have some good stuff. I try to stay away from hockey questions because we do everything else is hockey here, but make them weird, make them funny. And I'm going to put out the signal in a couple days and next couple weeks, hopefully get some good questions. And also, if you have suggestions or ideas, something you think might work, fire it off, man. Sometimes, that's where Pink Whitney came from. One of our listeners, hashtag Pink Whitney. And I'm surprised that mofo didn't come looking for a scalp at some point, but it's the randomness of the internet. Some stuff can happen. So send some stuff in, and the Gambling Corner, that's coming back too as well. I'll have some NFL picks, NHL picks each week. We'll get to that in a little bit.
RA, I got a couple questions for you. We talked about it at the start of the podcast. You've been a Bruins fan your whole life.
Yeah.
You were in attendance for Marchand's return. Like, what did that mean to you as a fan to just go, be there and experience all that, see him cry on the Jumbotron? I'll hand it over to you.
So I get the media credential. I'm not on the full list, but if I want to go to the game, the Bruins have been great to me 15 years now. I just, send the email and you're all set, but you have to send the request 72 hours in advance. So it was Saturday, and I kind of had a few things to do. I was like, shit, I'm not sure if I'll be going to be able to swing it. So I didn't get the credential because you don't want to get it and not go. That's not, you don't do it that way. So my mother texted me Monday. She's like, you're not going to the game? She's like, I'm surprised. And I was like, shit, Ma's guilting me into it. So I texted our game time representative at Barstool, I was like, bud, anything shaking for the game tonight? He's like, yeah, what do you need? And those boys hooked it up, man. We had third row right behind the bench. I took my cousin. By the way, shout out to my cousin Kirk, man. Growing up, he wasn't the biggest sports guy. He was a black belt in karate, believe it or not, but wasn't a typical like Boston sports guy. And because of this show, he's a diehard NHL fan. Every night he watches every game that's on. He follows the league like religiously. I mean, he's 53 years old, 55 years old, whatever. Never watched the NHL much. And now he's a super fan. So I texted him. I said, you working today? He's like, yeah. What time? Till 5. I says, Uber to my house after. We're going to the Bruins game tonight, you know. And he was like, are you shitting me? I'm like, yeah. And I didn't tell him where the seats were either, because I knew we were like 3 rows off the ice until we got in there and walked down, getting closer and getting closer. And even better, too, at Loge 18, there was no like seats in front of us. It was like a photographer's pit or a cameraman pit. So it was like being in the first row. Like, you know, we were up high and, you know, I mean, I put some tweets out. I got a good video of that fight. And then the tribute, man. I think every playoff game in that building, if not 99% of them, plus all the other games I went to, that's probably definitely top 10, if not a top 5 moment I've had in that building in Bruins history. You know, I knew he was going to get
like audio loudness too, or more just like the moment.
It was the loudness, but just right when they put it, everyone stood up, like, you know, like in church when the fucking priest like gives you the signal to stand up. Everyone got right up, and then they started clapping, and it was just nonstop. I think it went for 3 minutes. I mean, I'm not exactly fucking Jesse Owens here, but my arms were getting sore from fucking clapping too long, and you're like, how long is this gonna go for? It just kept going and going, and I thought he was gonna like give one of those, and you know, kudos to the game ops and the league, and you know, for letting that moment breathe, and ESPN. It was just like. It was such a special day. It felt like a number retirement. Like that's the only time I've seen a crowd at that level. And wait, I know you're just talking how, you know, you've been kind of sick of these tributes over the years, goofing on them. But I've never seen one on TV or anywhere with that level of applause, the noise and the reaction. Have you? I mean, do you remember
I think Kane in Chicago seemed that way.
Okay, there's one. But
and he scored the OT winner too.
All right, let's not talk about Chicago. I'm going to get PTSD from 2013 again. But being in the building, it was so special, and I was like, thank, you know, Ma knows best. Like, thank fucking God I listened to my mother. She's like, you're not going, and I ended up getting the tickets, and I mean, you fucking cocksucker.
She is a rocket. She might be the hot. Like, how old is she?
All right, down boy. My mother's 74.
She's the hottest 74-year-old in the world. I would put her up against anyone.
Thank you. Stay away from me.
Okay, son.
I had one stepfather already. One's enough.
Hey, after you saw that, are you now okay with that guy having paid Brad Marchand's parking ticket?
Fuck yeah.
Okay,
dude,
let's go.
This is a changed man, baby. Folks. This is a changed man.
Oh, dude, I've ran into him a few times. I've met him and hung out with him a couple of times. I forget. He's like, dude, I'm the guy who paid the ticket. I was like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, he's a hot shit, man. No, my old neighbor too, Mashi. I actually ran into his wife like a week before they moved to Florida, because you know, kids in Florida, they go to school like what, July, Keith? They go back to school.
August,
it's crazy down there.
Mid-August.
And I was saying, I moved. I haven't seen you lately. I miss you guys. Good luck down there. And I said, oh, by the way, tell Brad I said congrats on the Stanley Cup, and thanks for the 9,000 he won me when he scored that overtime goal for my DraftKings fucking overtime game. She's like, did you really? I was like, fucking right, I did. So. Yeah, Biz, it was like just like I said, a special night. It would have been nice if they got the W or even a friggin' point, but they blew it late. But it's definitely one of those memories I'll treasure, and seeing his reaction in the crowd. Yeah, it was awesome, and a lot of people like who weren't complaining about the trade last year are piping up quite a bit now. Like, you know, everyone's like, oh, you know, good luck for the playoffs, and now it's like, oh, fuck Sweeney, fucking blow up the office, blah blah blah. It's like. Where were you 16 months ago?
I don't know. There was a lot of hatred when it happened, I thought.
I mean, people weren't happy to get traded, but, you know, I think, you know, he coming off surgery, he's 37, and, yeah, let's hope we get another one. But, I don't know, people seem to do, I think, a bit of a 180 on it. And, I don't know, they weren't complaining to this extent that they are now. And, yeah, we didn't want to see him leave, but it is what it is. And I don't know, I'm not going to complain about that. No one thought he was going to get a 6-year deal, and good luck to him. I hope he wins a couple more.
I think also, like, at this point, the regret is, goddamn, I wish we'd have got more for him, just because like of how good he still is and how relevant as a player. I mean, you saw him playoffs. You're like, fuck, at least because they ended up getting it got bumped up to a first rounder because they advanced past the second round, correct? So still decent, but you hope you would have got more. I got a few other questions.
Yeah.
What was the funnest thing you did in your time off? Like, what was the thing that like filled up your love tank the most when you got your time off?
Did you say love tank?
Well, just like, maybe you went on a life-changing trip or you did
The
something
love
that
tank is empty, buddy. Believe me.
Oh, RA, fuck. Thought you'd be wheeling and dealing in those 16 months.
Yeah, well, now maybe we'll get cracking now that I'm back on a public facing
Love that.
episode here. But
Are you down with the dating show now?
Let's do one question first. We'll get to that one. Honestly, the two best times I've had, I went to Oasis in Chicago back in August. And look, I wasn't the biggest Oasis fan when they came around. Charlestown guys have always been like ahead of the curve with like music and stuff. And I didn't know if they were going to be another like band that comes and goes. Obviously, that wasn't the case. I kind of grew to love them. I mean, I'm probably not on the top 200 Oasis fans in Charlestown because there's so many diehards. I bought a ticket online, general admission on the field. I paid $600 for it. I was like, I'd rather fly to Chicago than go to fucking the Meadowlands for a concert. And my friend Monty, one of my dearest friend, I went to college with her, grew up with her. She got a ticket like 2 months later, and she had a general admission field seat as well. We walked in. Oh, by the way, if you ever go to Soldier Field, you got to cut through, like, I think it's Grant Park. It's, a 20-minute walk. And, like, every 100 feet, there's, like, a black dude with a cooler, like, selling beers and, like, shots. Like, so, and, we're pounding them on the way in. And people like, oh, the cops going to bother us? I'm like, if they ain't bothering these dudes with the coolers selling them, I don't think they're going to bother the tourists going to fucking Oasis. And so me and Monty went in together. And the first lady scans our tickets, and she opens this gate. She's like, "Oh, VIP's down here." Like, VIP? Like, we didn't buy our tickets together and went down into the bowels of the stadium, and then we got wristbands, and the field seats are split in two, like basically the 50-yard line, this way, and then toward the stage. And we got in. We got fucking, before they even come on, we were 20 feet from the stage, biz. Like, it was general admission, no seats. So, like, we get in, and we were like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And then, like, people moving, like, during the, get a beer, take a piss. And I'm like, Bonnie, fucking let's go. She's like, "Oh, I don't want to be greedy." I was like, motherfucker, this is when you get greedy in life. You got to fucking Tetris that shit. People leave a concert, you got to get up closer. And by the end of the show, I mean, we were like on the railing. I mean, like, Noel and Liam Gallagher were 20 feet away. I got Dynamite videos.
Is that a standard thing where if you're floor seats and you have a spot, you go get a beer, your spot's then getting taken?
Oh yeah, because it's everyone's standing. Yeah, it's general admission, man.
Yep.
That's I think we grabbed one beer when we got there and didn't piss the whole show. And it was unbelievable. And my friend Monty, she's like diehard. She's with the Stones out of me. I think Oasis is to her, and to be with like a dear friend and like see that show, it was an awesome experience. It was like the crowd felt like a family. I've been to tons of concerts. I never felt like a crowd like this. It was like, like Grateful Dead, but they smelled a lot better than a Grateful Dead crowd. But it was just, everybody was just into it. I was like hugging like strangers, like singing and dancing. It was just a special night, man. And it was Labor Day, so I stayed out in Chicago for a couple more days because Chicago's an awesome city. So that's one. And then back in, I think it was May, I was down Aruba. This is kind of ironic. The year before, during the Stanley Cup, I might not have been the biggest person popularity with the.
Well, you slept on the beach there. You could have done that in Aruba as well.
I didn't down there, but my buddy's kid, he was turning 30. Actually, I was basically on a trip with about 20 Kachucks a year after the Stanley Cup. It was just kind of ironic the year before how that went. And then I was on a family trip with probably like 15 or 20 of them. And it's all water under the bridge now. So went down Aruba for a 30th birthday party. Had an absolute blast down there. I mean, if you ever been to Aruba?
I've never been to Aruba. No, that's not one of my spots.
Yeah, Boston, like people, like New England people, they go there all the time because it's like a consistently great vacation. You guaranteed great weather. They take care of tourists. There's no like riffraff in the tourist area. The beach, it's like the perfect vacation. So yeah, I went down there for 30th birthday and got a little relaxation. So yeah, those two were probably the big highlights over the last 16 months for sure.
Good, man. You deserve it.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. So yeah, I I don't know if you saw. Did you see who I picked to win the cup is? I don't know if you saw my blog.
I was going to ask you, what's the like? Who are you liking early? I know sometimes you're not going to necessarily talk about hockey. Sometimes when you have things that you do want to say and you're passionate about, you'll obviously be hopping on the Monday show. You could talk about them here, but early so far this season, who are you loving? Who have you been following?
Who'd you pick?
What's?
Okay, well, I'll do the picks first. For the divisions. Toronto, the Rangers, Dallas, and Vegas, my 4 division winners. For the conference finals, I have the Leafs over the Rangers and the Jets over the Stars. In the Stanley Cup final, I have the Leafs over the Jets with the Conn Smythe winner being Anthony Stolarz.
Horrible picks.
I mean, I love this guy.
And I know it sounds like, he's got to be trolling like Toronto, blah, blah, blah. No, not at all. I mean, let's go back to the playoffs last year, right? You know, he outdueled Ullmark in the first round. And what is it, 20 minutes into not even 20 minutes into the first game versus Florida, fly-by chicken wing, boom, he's done, never comes back. They still took Florida to 7 games with Joseph Woll playing, and he wasn't too great, no disrespect. His numbers weren't good. So if Stolarz was in, I think they would have beaten Florida, let's say easily, but they took him to 7 games with Woll, and that's, they went on to win the Cup. And I think Stolarz, man, he's one of those guys like, late in their career. Journeyman's not a diss. I know people think it is sometimes. I'd love to be called an NHL journeyman. And I look at the last 10 years. I mean, who was it? Bob won the last 2, obviously making a ton of dough. But a lot of the goalies, they either didn't have a lot of experience or they weren't making money. Like Matt Murray. I mean, he was making $650,000, won back-to-back cups. Basically, who was it? Oh, fucking Aiden Hill. He never had a playoff game before. He wins the cup. Binnington never had a playoff game before, making $500,000. Boom, wins the cup. So you don't have to have a number one guy. And maybe reading the tea leaves a little bit here. Stolarz, I think he's always had a good game. He had an awesome year last year. If he stays healthy, I think I got Toronto as a pick. So
you're not worried about him losing his mind, calling out his team, and
I fucking love that, Keith. I love that, because it doesn't happen often, but I think he's a guy who's been around. He's paid his dues, and he was right, man. Like, I love Brandon Carlo when he was here, but like you said, it was a tough look, and I know he's had a concussion history, and I don't know if that maybe makes him a little tentative to get involved, but when you go, he's getting bundled like that and has to defend himself, man, and will he kind of lackadaisical getting back? Yeah, I mean, call him out, and they said they hashed it out. We're a family, blah blah blah, but. I love it. I wish guys did that more. I know it's not typical of hockey, but yeah, fuck it, maybe light a fire under some of their asses. So,
the next game, I think there was a clip of them giving up a 4-on-1 against Jersey. So that team's just not listening to their goalie. That's Toronto. They got a baseball team though. It's a baseball city.
Oh yeah. Well, I got baseball notes later, and Biz, you just mentioned this will probably be the most hockey talk I might do all year in here, but I have been on for a while, and got a lot of takes here. Awards. I'll go through these quick. Well, a couple of them already look like shit. Jack Adams, I picked my boy Marco Sturm because I forgot the Bruins had 17 fourth liners on their roster. Rocket Richard, Kyle Connor, the Vezina, Swayman, Selke, Nico Hischier, the Norris, Lane Hudson, the Calder, Ivan Demidov, and the Art Ross and the Hart. I got our buddy Jack Eichel winning both of those.
Wow.
Good start there.
That's decent.
Demidov and Eichel, I like.
Yeah, let's see. I got him 25-1 on the Hart and 14-1. I put another bet in. I got him 40-1 to win the Art Ross Trophy for most points in the league. He's come out like burning the place up. What's he got? 6 goals, 10 assists, 16 points in 7 games. +7, has at least 1 point in every game. Already has a pair of 4-point games too. So hopefully he keeps humming along. Gets a couple bucks.
We tried to get him to come surprise you, RA. I think they're traveling today though, because I know how much he loves all the old school music, and I know how much he loves you. We were trying to get Eichel to hop on, but obviously he's busy and focused, trying to help win that division and continue this MVP like season he's got started already. But yeah, unreal picks.
RA, what are your thoughts on Biz booing Marner out of town and Eichel just reaping the benefits of all of this?
I look at what Toronto fans like say online, and I know that it's fucking cesspool. I can't believe how much they dump on the guy. They're just not grateful at all. The guy gave however many years he was there, gave it heart and soul, put up how many points, and they just dump on him. But do you think did Biz run him out of town? Is that the scuttlebutt? The end?
I was mad about the one goal where I fucking snapped. Like I didn't even care about when he had like the dry hair and he was yelling at the bench in game 7. Like I didn't even make a big deal about that. I was like, that's nonsense. I don't care about that moment. I don't think I was that bad. I don't think I said much. I didn't tweet stuff. I said a few things on the broadcast and on here, and these guys want to amplify it. So if I had, I've said to these guys, and they said they had buddies who were texting them confused. If I'm the reason and they want to put it on me, I'll eat it and apologize for it. But I just think they're just doing it to be assholes.
Okay, God. Another note too. I think goalies have been a big story this year. I think 25% of starting goalies have a save percentage 922 or higher. Alex Lyon's great.
Scored.
Yeah, it's very dried up right now.
Yeah, but the great goaltender. I mean, Alex Lyon in Buffalo. I know they finally got off the Schneider bit. He's been unbelievable. And does Philly finally have a goalie? Dan Vladar. How ironic though that Philly might have a goalie and his nickname is Darth of all friggin' teams. That little Darth Vader action, but he's been outstanding. Where's the numbers here? 3-1, 175 with a 929. Philly.
What does that have to do with Philly, Darth?
Yeah.
No, because they're fucking. Everyone shits on Philly. They're like mean and shit. Darth Vader. I don't.
Yeah, dark.
Yeah,
I get
Philly,
it.
Yeah, Philly gets dumped on and shit. Also, I think the most exciting team right now to watch and Montreal Canadiens, man.
Yeah.
What Goal Caulfield did, the 2 games back-to-back overtime winners with the tie and goal. And, dude, that place, it's just electric as fuck. Like, you get goosebumps just watching regular season games on TV the way that place is going. So, shout out to the Canadiens and I'm sorry, Whit, I know you already mentioned the Penguins, 5-2-0. And their goalies, with Seelovs there, the former Canuck, 3-1, 226, a 919 save percentage. Jarry, 2-1 with a 235, 922. I mean, I don't know if it's going to hold up, but I think that's probably the biggest surprise in the year so far. See what happens as things go on. And then I knew you guys were just talking about goalies playing out of the crease. Jerry Cheevers, I got to give him a shout out. I sent the link to G. This guy, he would stick handle, literally leave his net like all the way down the ice, like blue line, red line, over the other blue line. He was
really?
Absolute, yeah. I don't know what the rule was back then, but I sent the video to G. Hilarious, because when Nedeljkovic at that awful overtime loss at San Jose a couple weeks ago.
Well, he was trading guys in NFL fantasy to other teams.
Brutal look, but yeah, I just want to give Jerry Cheevers a shout out for being a madman in the net back in the day. But all right, we already talked about the Marchand stuff, but another tribute I do want to mention, and I know you guys, you might have mentioned before, Kenny Dryden. I was blessed to see probably what I would say the greatest dynasty in NHL history when I was a little kid, the Montreal Canadiens, 4 in a row, 76, 77, 78, 79. And, to see Guy Lafleur and Steve Shutt and Larry Robinson and Kenny Dryden, I'll remember that shit forever. And, of course, he passed away, and, condolences to his family and the Canadiens family. But I just want to pump his stats a little bit. Absolutely insane. He played 8 seasons. He won 6 Stanley Cups. He won the Conn Smythe playoff MVP before he won Calder for the Rookie of the Year. He won 5 Vezina trophies. And this is the goddamn 70s. A 2.24 goals against, a 922 save percentage. I mean, that's when, guys would play a game and then go fucking do a double, like doing carpentry work or something to fucking pay their bills or whatever back in the day. I mean, he was 6'4". He had that iconic, just would lean on his stick with that mask. And I just wanted to give him a shout out. And he's a guy I think should get mentioned while we talk, Hasek, Brodeur, Roy. Obviously, no shit, those guys are that. But Kenny Dryden, I don't know why his name doesn't get mentioned more. And, you could say, he was on that team with all those guys. But, dude, he's still going to stop the puck. And to stop it, with the 922 save percentage of the 1970s, absolutely fucking banana lands. And also, too, he took off the 73-74 season in a contract dispute and, gets his law degree. Literally, Sato season, gets his law degree, comes back, and he also wrote the best hockey book ever. It's called The Game. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, listeners. I don't know if anyone disagrees that it's not the best hockey book ever. I mean, he was a very smart, intelligent guy, and he gave you insight. It wasn't like gossipy type stuff, just stuff behind the scenes. And a tremendous tremendous dude, individual. Check that book out. Also, he was the 3rd round draft pick of the Bruins in 1964 and they traded him 17 days later. So stay hot, Sweeney. Good job there.
Oh yeah, Sweeney's getting shrapnel for that one. RA, when he sat out for the contract dispute, did he end up getting what he wanted the following year? Did they not win the Stanley Cup the year he sat out?
74. Flyers won the Cup in 74. So, but yeah, he ended up getting, I don't know what the exact number was, but yeah, he knew he had the leverage, and Montreal ended up having to cough up whatever they didn't want to give him. So yeah, Philly won it 74 and 75, but then Montreal won it 76, 77, 78, 79. They also won it 71 and 73 as well before he sat out. And also, too, I want to mention two other goalies who passed away around the same time. Eddie Jackman, New York Rangers legend, and Bernie Parent, Philadelphia Flyers legend, back-to-back Conn Smites, insane numbers with the old Broad Street Boys. And he was an absolute legend, that guy. I think he lived on a houseboat in, like, whatever river in Philadelphia, like, all the time. Like, a freaking legit houseboat. He was a character, a playboy, just like a quintessential 70s hockey player that he probably should have been in Slapshot type of thing. So want to just give a shout-out to all those guys. It was special. And that tribute to Biz, like, with Marchand, man, they do that shit.
They do.
awesome
Yeah,
all the time.
Jans was touching on it. He's like, it was fucking ridiculous how emotional it was. And the same night that Lane Hudson had came out first game after signing his contract. So there was just so much morale going around in that room.
Yeah, the mask on the net, the solo spotlight. It was just like, it was like so goddamn classy. It was like simple, but it was perfect. And Biz, you just mentioned, the players coming out. So the players were introduced. They had their own songs when they came out. I don't know if you guys caught that or not. When they come out that night, and I surprisingly, I actually knew 7.5 of them out of 20 of them, which kind of surprised me because all these young kids, I don't listen to the music they do. And the half song was one of them had that song Titanium. Who was it? David Guetta. Yeah, Patrick Laine. He had Titanium for David Guetta. The only reason I know that song is from Pitch Perfect, the acapella fun movie with Anna Kendrick. She sings it in the shower. I am Titanium. That's the only part I know of that song.
Great movie.
So, anyways, listen. I think we said this before on the show. Dudes have to have their own goal songs. I think that would be the best thing for the league. Guys score, boom, they have a tune, play it, a snippet of it, whatever. And here's the thing. Don't put the list out before the season. Don't tell the fans. So it'll be like an extra little suspense thing, so when a guy scores, you'll hear that song for the first time, and then you'll be associated with the dude. I mean, pitch like, Pasta scoring a goal and like a fucking Snoop Dogg needle drop at the God, And look, I love the woohoo and the same song they played forever, but we also had John Kiley playing the organ for 40 years, and that ended. So I think this would be a huge move for the league. And like I said, the fact that Canadians did this, they're a conservative organization, not politically, just kind of, they represent the class of the league. So I think the fact that they had this thing go down, let all the other players do it. What do you think,
agree, RA. That's a
There is
fucking
an NHL
unreal
team doing it. Is that Montreal or is there another one?
No, they just did it for the intros. Like,
So there is an
that
NHL
night.
team that's decided to do that.
We did it in Phoenix one year, Biz. Remember they asked us for
I don't.
It was like a walk-up song for if you were picked to go in the shootout, which was pretty cool, I guess.
That's cool too.
The PA was like, does anybody here know how to DJ? You guys
exactly.
come up.
Washington's doing that this year.
Okay, really?
Wow,
No
okay,
shit.
so they've adapted it.
Yeah, so I think, and also like the social media factor, there'll be memes and jokes and whatever, and that's just free publicity for the league. That's like free marketing for the league. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but I think there's good like crossover potential as well. If it's an artist who's still living, they get wind of it. Meet up with the player, so you might bring in new fans from a different environment that don't watch hockey and might work for the artist. He might get some new fans from the hockey world. So I don't know. I
wonder if they can't use some music from some people though. You know what I mean? Like all that
in
music
the building,
stuff
you
is
can.
crazy. Oh, you
Yeah,
can?
It's like a DJ.
Yeah, I think, basically, I mean, by the way, the Garden was banging the other night. The first two periods were dead as Dillinger, the Marchand night. And when they tied it up, dude, I felt like I was in a frat basement. Like, once the place got fucking bumping, the shout from Animal House. Well, they played that. They played the whole song, and dude, like the whole place was, up and down, jumping and dancing. Man, it was good stuff. But I think Keith, when you play shout though, I think you got to play the Otis Day and the Nights version from Animal House.
Sure.
I mean, all due respect to the Isley brothers, but so yeah, I don't know. I think there's no downside, and but somebody on the team has to probably have Stairway to Heaven. So when they have those fucking goalie interference.
That's another one too. Yeah, the long reviews.
But so what? Like what? All right, Biz. What song or songs would you? I mean, I know it's probably unlikely that it's gonna play, but what song would you want when you scored?
Wow. That,
Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor.
I think it would be fun to change it up and also like get a reaction out of the crowd. So it always helps though after a goal. You want to amplify the crowd. So something like an AC/DC Thunderstruck. I know we talk about that. Something very intense, very quickly. I'll throw it over to Jans while I maybe look at my phone and see what would pop up. Do you have one in mind?
The one that I remember choosing for my shootout thing in Phoenix because I knew I was never going to go was Britney Spears. And she had a song that was called Number 3, like just the number 3. And I wore number 3 then. So I had that as my song.
Okay.
Woody, what do you got one for us, bud?
Anything 10 Faye.
I knew you were gonna fucking. I knew it, you motherfucker.
What?
I
Which
Would
one?
yours be, RA?
Which
What's up?
one?
I would probably do the Stones. Can You Hear Me Knocking? The opening guitar riff.
Well, that's the one we called Shanahan one night, Biz. Do you remember walking back with RA after dinner in Boston? And we played the beginning of it because it was during the whole madness of Toronto. Remember last year?
Yeah, Will
they had,
Arnett wanted them to change up the goal song. He wanted a little different feel, change the vibe around the arena. He thought the old one had gotten a little stale. And yes, I remember that when we were with Shanny, that was the night we saw Nylander with the tank top. That was All-Star.
Yes.
Yes.
I think that maybe something Oasis, because when we were at the Chiclets Cup, Con Man was bumping a lot of Oasis, and that Cigarettes and Alcohol is a good tune.
By the way, great seeing Con Man in Boston. He's the fucking man. Love that guy. Well, and on the subject of player expression, the new CBA gives guys another opportunity to do so. I know you were just talking about the no dress codes. I know some people are bitching about it. I say about time, man. I've been saying this for ages. Like I think of guys who in the Bruins, they live like Charlestown or the North End or the West End. They got to put a fucking suit on for a 3-minute ride to work, and then they get there and they got to change right away. It's like no one sees them. They're not. I know they do the fit checks now on the camera, but I don't. It's just like like just fucking wear whatever. And we're seeing that. And like when the Blackhawks were in a couple weeks ago, I went to the game, and a couple of players outside the bus, I was going to say hi to the coach, and they look fine. It's not like they look like scrubs or anything. And then also they're taking a 3-minute walk to the bus, a 35-minute ride to the airport for a 3-hour flight home. Like, who's going to see them? Why do you fucking need a suit? And there's nothing worse than flying with a goddamn suit on either. Like,
well, we would just
changes.
we would just change
Okay.
as soon as we got in the plane, and you put on those tight compression pants, put on some fart catchers, whatever it may be. Now, I think this is a perfect time to bring back up this segment. And maybe from now on, we actually have it in RA's world where we take a look at these outfits these guys are rocking and we go through them. We already pulled up Nylander. Okay, this one is hilarious. And then
Grease
Memes
Lightning.
ended up putting him in a Grease Lightning picture. This is
it's
Vasilevsky.
hydromatic. Holy
Yeah.
shit, Circuit Jeff.
I mean, what do you guys make of this one?
That's not Sergachev. That is
Or
Vasilevsky.
Vasilevsky, excuse me. Vasilevsky.
And I couldn't pull it off. I like it. I think the only bad thing is like his hairstyle. I'm not a huge fan of that. I also couldn't grow that. Maybe that's why I'm jealous. But he looks good. He looks ready to go. He looks like a machine too.
He's almost got that No Country for Old Men type cut from the serial
Yeah,
killer.
like flip a coin, buddy.
Yeah, flip. Yeah,
I'm gonna
flip
shut you out, or you're gonna light me up for 7.
Call it. I want you to call it heads or tails. That fucking what a creepy bastard he was.
Yeah.
Dude, JJ Peterka, I don't know if you have a picture. He looked like he had a zoot suit on from like 1930s or something. Like some of these guys, I like the suits and when they're flashy, but I'm waiting for someone to show up with like sweatpants and like a wife beater on, and my money would be on like Seth Jarvis. Like he seems the type who would just show up like, and I'm not knocking on him. He's character. He's hilarious. But yeah, I like to see like again the expression these guys showing themselves, and especially during the playoffs, like wearing the BlueJays shirts or the Mariners shirts. Different. Your towns in the playoffs, whatever. That shit's good. But yeah, man, this is just another way like guys to show it off. And some of them though, they're boring as fuck. They look like they're going to like a real estate showing on a Sunday afternoon or something.
Let's keep rifling through these. Okay, so
This
that's
is the
Clayton
one
Keller.
those jeans are.
I think those are Chrome Hearts. Those jeans.
Those are in, Biz. That's in.
I don't know. I'm not big on the stitching on jeans. I keep it simple, off the glass and out. I actually got this Japanese denim that I've been rocking here. It's actually no free ads, but this is Hiroshi Kato, Unreal Japanese denim, and they don't do all the stitching like that. So I don't also think that's the worst fit on Clayton Keller.
No.
You don't like the poofy jacket? Was that the one that you were ripping earlier?
I was more talking about the patch on the knees of the jeans. But I think what's Clayton Keller, 24? Like this is probably in. I'm guessing if he's wearing it.
Yeah.
Somebody tell Vasi that Kinnicky's on his way over to pick him up.
Yance, what do you make of this? Do you have any opinions? Do you ever wear jeans with stitch on them?
Maybe the Ed Hardy one, or what True Religion. Remember those were big in Phoenix. Those had some stitching on them, but no, those almost the jeans, and even Roan had them on when we were at Barstool. Like it seems like they're wearing almost like a Jenko style that was prevalent when we were in like middle school. But I'm not a big fan of the baggy jeans. But like Whit, I got no style. I got a free Pink Whitney shirt on. Like what are we talking about?
Yeah. What else do we got?
Did you have Jenko jeans, Keith, back in the day?
I always wanted a pair, but my dad would never buy them for me. We were more like the Old Navy Carpenter and Old Navy cargo jeans, that type of fam. Is this the same kid who had on the?
Yeah, Dmitry Simashev.
He's a book guy.
Yeah, another book. He looks like the guy walking in Bittersweet Symphony. It's a bittersweet.
Ryan Philippi?
No, that is from the movie where that song does play, but I'm talking about the music video, Bittersweet Symphony, where he's kind of just got this like this strut going the whole video, and he's rocking a lot of confidence and clearly doesn't give a fuck about people's opinion because he is really going off the board here. So
he owns it.
Yeah. What else we got?
That was funny.
Yeah, this is
for the 1500th game.
Yeah, this is Taves in Colorado. Rocking the Brent Burns backpack.
The whole team wore those backpacks. That
so good.
Many people wonder what's in there. I think there could be animals, coffee machine. With Brent Burns, you never really know.
Yeah.
Also,
I think personally he's a drug mule for the Mexican cartel is what I'm thinking.
Shout out Brent Burns too, who reverse hit Tanev in Seattle. Brandon Tanev, just an incredible reverse.
No,
hit.
he plays for the Utah Mammoth now.
Sorry. He has moved on to Utah. I apologize.
No worries.
There's a couple more here. Who's that? Domi up, and there's Willie Styles.
Willie Styles. I've noticed his, and he never has a belt on. What's with the no belt Peace Prize?
I don't know. I think the cool kids don't wear belts anymore.
That's in?
Yeah.
I guess
belts are done?
MC Hammer pants. He looks like he's got on.
He's got it around his neck, actually, as you can see in this photo.
The
choker.
Oh, there you go, RA. Domi has the sweatpants on, the fart catchers.
There we go. Absolutely, man. That's my style.
Do you think that you started the choker trend? Because Willie's got one on there, RA. Do you think that people are copying
RA's
off
was tighter.
RA and Avril Lavigne started it.
Biz, you know what? I mean, you know why I had it on all night, right?
You had it on the bus, and I go, that looks unbelievable on you, because it did. I just didn't know you were going to be buckled on the ice with it, forgetting guys' names who you were going to interview. So that's kind of the discrepancy. That
okay, no,
kind of like the Mitch Marner stuff. I'll take part blame, but I'm not taking all.
No, it's not a blame. No, you said that. He's like, you're like, Ari, that looks good. He's like, keep that on all night. So I was like, all right. And honestly, like, I forgot I even had it on, which like it was off for a joke. It's like
for sure. You forgot. I think you forgot what state you were in, let alone the choker on your neck.
Unbelievable. All right, what else do you have planned? And one of the questions I was going to ask you is like, you got a new setup, a new living arrangement. And I love the fact that your couch looks comfortable, and you also seem to have pants on during this recording. What is the memorabilia behind you? What is all this stuff behind you?
Yeah, like, those goggles stolen from a Stanley Cup winning locker room?
No, it's because he goes skiing every weekend. Not the one you're thinking about.
In the summer.
Skiing?
Yeah.
Keith, right? Spot on. I knew you were going to ask that question, Biz. I'm psyched that you did. Yeah, those goggles, they weren't stolen. It was the Vegas Stanley Cup night when they won. By the way, I bet Florida and cheered for Florida that whole series, but Vegas didn't seem to mind that night. And we were out partying all the different clubs, and I forget there were goggles. Someone like tossed them to me. It might have been Whitey, Zach Whitecloud. He might have given to me or whatever. But so yeah, they come home with me. So a nice little souvenir. And right to the next to that right there is that's the first page of season 1 of the Shoresy script.
That's cool.
You know,
That's cool.
Puck there.
What's the ladies' room?
That's the name for his new apartment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so somebody better put the memo out with. So that sign. Okay, I went to Columbus High School across the bridge to the north end. I was the last graduate class, 1990, and it wasn't like when a stadium closes, people start ripping fucking chairs out and shit. But people would take a little souvenirs, and I looked up, and that was above the ladies' room. And I just got a screwdriver and popped it off, and took it for a souvenir. But this is kind of pretty cheesy, but. What I did, I put it above my bedroom when I lived with like the old man above my thing. So when you walked in, the ladies' room was above my fucking bedroom door. The last place I lived at. I mean, you couldn't really see it. But
you never plowed anyone in the ladies' room when you were going to school there, did you?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't plow anyone in any part of the school, but but I did it my bedroom back with Leo.
I didn't know if there was any other significance to the fact that
No, it's just a goofy thing, and it was laying around. So what else we got? Oh, that's just a picture I took of the Bunker Hill Monument up the street. Obviously, a huge landmark in American history. Cam Neely koozie. This is one of the best soundtracks ever. Saturday Night Fever. That's a vinyl album right there. I bought it at like a thrift shop in Vermont a couple of years ago. I don't even have a record player, but it's like one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. Mick Jagger picture. I took that down Foxborough concert back in the day. The Rear Admiral nameplate was from when we did the TNT the night I hit the 3-pointer before the Penguins scored.
Yeah, that's
what
you're
known for basketball. Fair.
Absolutely.
I see the late game poster. That's when you were the Zamboni driver, the miserable Zamboni driver.
Yep. Yeah, the late game, the movie I was in, late game. Check it out. It's on Amazon. That's my goon koozie. That picture. That's me kissing the Stanley Cup down at the Spud Bar in Charleston. That was the third time I met Stanley. That's actually a funny story. It was January of 2009. It was Sunday NFL playoffs. Me and the boys were out all day. It was like 11:30 on a Sunday night. Door opens and walks Thordy with the Stanley Cup over his shoulder like a fucking keg in college. And we're like, what? Like everyone's just jaws on the floor because like, what the fuck's this doing here? Well, it was the Wives Carnival, the Bruins Wives Carnival that day, and they bring the cup in to take pictures to raise money. And Thordy commandeered it and like brought it to like every bar in Boston. So I didn't know. I hadn't met Sean before. It was his first year there, and of course I got my Scally hat on and a Bruin shirt on straight out of Central Casting, and he puts it on the table. It like points at me at the chest. He's like, "You're in charge. I'm going to the bar." And I was like, I'm like, what the fuck? I called my father. I was like, Dad, guess what I'm babysitting right now? He's like, what? I'm like, the fucking Stanley Cup down the Spud. He's like, are you shitting me? And like, well, everybody was like it was bananas. So I hung out with. That's the first time I met Dory. Got some good pictures, and I was like, dude, when you win it, you got to bring it back down here. And when they won it 2 years later, he brought it back down there. So that's me kissing the cup. Shamrock, obviously Irish guy.
G asked if you still have the Altoids. There was an Altoids wrapper that you had Pedro Martinez sign because that was the only thing you had on you for him to sign. Do you still have that?
I do. I think it might be with my storage stuff that I still have a bunch of stuff. I live in a shoebox. There's not a lot of room here, but I don't have it at my disposal, but I can add it at some point. That's a Batmobile, Hot Wheels Batmobile. You know what that is?
That looks like the hood of a Rolls Royce. The
that
emblem
looks like the top of a flag.
Bingo bango. No, it's
Rolls Royce.
Right, that's a Rolls Royce hood ornament.
Where'd you get it?
Off of Rolls Royce.
Used to yank them off cars.
All right, we gotta end it. We gotta go. Cut it down. No, it was my stepfather's back in the day. I mean, he's been gone for 35 years, but he had a Rolls back in the day, and I don't know. Somehow my mother fucking ended up with this, so I've just been carrying it around forever. Just a little something different.
I think we've heard enough about that. Is there anything else you have like on your list that you wanted to go over?
Yes, absolutely. Oh, one thing you just mentioned books. Did you see what Jack Hughes is doing with the Devils? Him and his brother Luke. They started a program to like give books to like the community, the New Jersey community, get kids start reading again, and like they're donating a bunch of books. And I mean, that's pretty cool, man. You don't see too many athletes doing that, and a lot of kids probably don't read as much. So I just want to give them a shout out for that. That's my dad right there, Leo, putting out a fire. So when I got the date when my first show is going to be, today, October 24th, a big shit-eating grin come over my face because my dad's birthday. And I was like,
nice.
it's like an inadvertent birthday gift for him. And so, Dad, I love you. You're the best. Happy 81st. He's been aces. I mean, we lived together for 20 years. We should have been like an 80s sitcom. The dude's the best. This whole town loves him and adores him. And I'm psyched that this dropped on his 81st birthday.
That's awesome, dude.
Shout out to Leo, man. He's the absolute best.
Leo.
It's kind of like
81
how
goals.
Marchand was back 16 years, after he first started for the Bruins. That's kind of the vibe I got right there. Same thing, right?
Yeah, it's good shit. So I had this question. So what do you think? Like, I mean, that you guys probably don't even know when my birthday is because I'm like my father. I don't give two shits. I don't make a big deal about it. But
Do you know when our birthdays are?
no, I mean no. But but they've been brought up, acknowledged, whatever.
How old are you? 51?
53. I wish I was 51.
Okay.
I'm 53. But when I see dudes drawing attention to it, whatever. I'll say like chicks, my birthday week, my birthday month. If I ever heard a dude friend say it's my birthday week or my birthday month, I would punt him out of my friend group fucking so quick, dude. It's like, it's fun you celebrate it, but it's a fucking birthday, man. We all celebrate it. I don't know. Dudes fucking act like that. Get over yourself. I'm not a big fan of that.
That's fair.
Grinds his gears.
I kind of used to feel the same way, but now it's like, fuck, it's a good reason to get together with friends and celebrate. I kind of love birthdays
And
now.
to
I
be
used to hate them.
celebrated by your family.
Yeah.
No,
'cause it's
absolutely.
all you got left.
And I didn't mean to imply that doesn't happen. I'm just saying when people like, you say birthday, they just want people to say happy birthday to them, like total strangers on the internet.
I love the first grind my gears. This is awesome.
Absolutely
Birthdays.
celebrate with the fam and all that.
You must have hated me in my 40th then. I mean, Whit did because it was butt plug central.
I never
according to him.
hated that. I never hated that. I laughed at your jacket. Never once did I hate that. You're crazy. I mean, RA brought up his dad's birthday and then said he hates birthdays. But
I just don't. Yeah, don't.
The
get
boys
excited
are
about
back,
it too
baby.
much. All right, I got a couple picks here, but before that, I did make a note here. Like baseball playoffs, man. I don't watch regular season much, but I think Major League Baseball playoffs are on par sometimes with NHL playoffs, man. Like the way things change in a dime, how things can snowball. Like one pitch, like we saw the other night with Toronto, just things go like absolutely
I'm
buck
with
wild.
you.
And like Scott Van Pelt, he tweeted out like a similar thing. I got a tweet right here. He's like, I go back and forth on what has more attention, playoff baseball or OT and playoff hockey. This Tigers-Mariners game has been like OT Stanley Cup playoffs for about 3 hours. And this dude had the best reply I've ever seen. He said, it's like two different types of horror movies. Hockey is like Jason, where it's just constant action, gore, and simply relentless. Baseball is like Hitchcock, where the stress is building up over small things, and then all hell breaks loose. I was like, that's the best freaking analogy I've ever heard.
That's poetry.
Any sort of playoff stuff. So, all right, last thing, the Gamble Corner. It's back. Little NFL action, little NHL action. Now, obviously, I don't know the lines for the NHL, so I'm kind of flying blind on those. But first with the NFL, I think two mistakes NFL bettors often make, or mistakes in quotes, they ignore underdogs, because people are conditioned, they hear favorite, they think supposed to win by, which is not the case at all. You're not supposed to win. It's just to get equal action on both sides. And also, people bet way too many games. You pick one or two teams, load up on them, and then do some small shits and giggle stuff. But this weekend, and I haven't said that, I tend to avoid obvious public chalk, but Buffalo is going to fucking throttle Carolina this weekend. They're coming off a bye. They lost 2 in a row. They're laying 7 right now on the road with a minus 120 VIG. I don't see how they don't blow this team out by 2-3 touchdowns. I think the line should be probably 10 or 11. So Buffalo this weekend, I don't see how they don't dummy that Carolina squad. And spend the extra VIG, buy the 7 down to 6.5, because they win by 7, and you push, you'd be like, why didn't they buy the fucking half point? Also,
I'm thinking,
the Giants,
or make the line 9.5 and get some plus juice on it.
That's so. Yeah, now you're right. What obviously with DraftKings, you could find any line you want out there. I'm still kind of old school mentality where you kind of zone in on the main one, but absolutely, I like the margin of victory bets. A team will win by a super spread, whatever. You get a nice little return on those. My other NFL pick, I know the Giants dummied the Eagles a couple weeks ago. and everybody's probably going to be all over Philly. They're 7.5 at home right now. I think people are going to be, Philly, they're going to be out for revenge, blah, blah, blah. But, dude, the Giants have been on a heater since they put that Jackson Dot kid in. The division rivals in that division, the NFC East, man, those teams always seem to upset each other, beat the hell out of each other. So I'm taking the G-Men at 7.5 right now. It's a division game. I know, again, they beat them 2 weeks ago, but take the Giants plus 7.5, the VIG minus 120, and throw a little small play on the money line too, plus 330. I think that'll be a wise play there. And again, I don't have the NHL lines yet for the weekend, but I do like San Jose. If San Jose loses tonight or last night to the Rangers, bet them versus the Devils tonight, because obviously we're recording on Thursday.
Oh, I would love that.
Yeah, so if San Jose loses at MSG tonight, take them versus the Devils tomorrow. It's just, they're going to win eventually, and sometimes teams are on a heater and they take a team like that too lightly. So San Jose, if the Rangers beat them tonight, Anaheim and Tampa, they're playing Saturday. Anaheim's got a busy schedule. I think it's their 4th game of the week. Tampa's only had 1 game the last week. I think they're turning a bit of a corner. I know Vasi started off tough, but take the Lightning Saturday. I don't know the line yet, but I'd say take them regulation only, and then the puck line as well. So those are the picks for the weekend. And yeah, boys, that pretty much sums it up. I know I fucking kind of rambling a little bit here.
No, buddy, this was
excited,
awesome.
A little jazzed up, and yeah, it's great to be back, man. To be behind the mic, and I love it. Love you guys, and I appreciate everything, and I can't wait to have a fucking great season.
I love it, RA.
Awesome.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Good job. And before we kind of finish off, I do want to remind everyone, breast cancer awareness merchandise that we have, 100% of the net proceeds go to 5 Under 40 Foundation, a foundation that helps young women diagnosed with cancer buy wigs and beauty products. So let's help these ladies out. RA, great to have you back, boys. Good show. Thank you to Shane Doan. Thank you to Jon Cooper. We'll be back Monday live. See y'all then.
Go Jays, fuck LA.